Oh,
Welcome to the Dave's Had Enough Show, episode 73. We got some guests that, I think it's all guests that's been here usually. I don't think there's anybody new.
Can you hear? Hey, wait.
What happened? We're good?
I don't know. Armor's doing something.
Armor, we're live. Get your shit straightened out, son.
Well, anyways, Armored will be here in a second, I guess. How's everybody doing? What's up, Thanos? How's it going, man?
What up, Dave? Good to be here tonight, man.
Glad to have you, man. What's up,
Thank you.
Mr. Roo? How's it going?
Hey Dave, I'm good. How are you?
Glad to have you. What's up, The Freak? How's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm actually gonna not lag out of this. So, I remember last time I was in here, I was having complete problems, but I'm here and I'm ready to mess with y'all's minds.
Okay. And what's up, Zeus, right?
Hey, I'm gonna try and not be quiet this time.
Yay.
Alright. And Kenoshi. What's up, Kenoshi?
hello, this is Kanashi Abominito, here to tell you kids, pills for skills.
Huh? And Old Dirty, what's up?
What's going on, people?
Alright. And Armored. If you there, Armored?
I think he's
Yes.
getting that liposuction.
I guess first thing we'll talk about the whole thing with Rockstar, Kenoshi. What was it? One of the presidents left or something?
Well, one of the, he's the producer, he left. He went on a sabbatical back in September. Decided not to come back. He was with the company for about 20 years and decided to leave. Who knows what actually this will do to the company, because I think the producer I think they're the person that gives the thumbs up to various projects and might have a hand in it, but I don't know what it means for the creative flow of the new GTA games. Maybe somebody here who knows a little bit more about the inner workings of Rockstar will probably shed some light.
Yeah. Anybody else hear this news? I saw the video from IGN. They said that one of their head dudes was leaving, and two guys from within the company is just going to take his place. I've never really looked through the people that worked at Rockstar, and I don't know. I know other companies before I know this company, like who's the head guy and all that. But
Leslie Benzie, that's his name.
Okay, so is he basically retiring, like, or is he just?
He might just be moving on to other endeavors. I am not sure.
Because that'd be a pretty good company. I wouldn't leave Rockstar unless I was retiring.
Yeah.
Alright.
What about you guys? What do you guys think about this? You guys big fans of Rockstar games, or?
So and so. I mean, it's just maybe he just left his blueprint behind, for the other producers to follow and follow suit. But is it going to affect all their future projects? Slightly, but I don't see it being, having that much or a dramatic impact on their final productions of gaming.
Well, a lot of people put Rockstar up on a pedestal. Do you guys think it belongs there, or do you guys think that they just because if you do look at their catalog, they have a lot of hit games.
Yeah.
But do you guys see it that way? Do you guys think Bully, Manhunt, all these games are as great as they say they are?
I'm probably gonna be the contrarian in the room, but I don't. The first Rockstar game that I played was GTA 4, and that was a very, very that was getting 8s, 10s, 1000s out of 10s. People were praising that game to the moon, to the sun, and beyond. And I looking back on that game it aged poorly, and even at the time, the gun mechanics were very sluggish. I mean, I guess it really didn't tout itself as a shooter, but and from people who have played previous GTA games, they felt shafted by 4 because it took out a lot of the things from San Andreas. San Andreas had more features than 4 did, and 4 was on supposedly stronger hardware. So it seems like I don't want to lead into another topic. This is just a parenthetical thought, but it seems like that. It seems like as some of these games, as the hardware gets stronger, they seem to get games because there are games. Because for instance, Battlefront, the new Battlefront is severely gimped compared to the previous two, which actually had more features, and they were on weaker hardware.
I think with a lot of games, there's a lot of games that just have way too many features. Like Battlefield 4 got to that point where they made like all these game modes that people played for a week and then were like, okay, these aren't really that much fun. I think a lot of games need to stop bloating it with all this like stuff that no one really cares for and get back to pretty much the basics.
Right.
I can see that. I can see that side of the coin too.
Yeah, so I always liked Rockstar. I thought they were good. I never got to play Red Dead Redemption, and a lot of people say that's their big game that they like outside of Grand Theft Auto. I heard it's an amazing game. I've seen my friends play it, but I just never played it, you know. I always liked Bully. I liked Manhunt. What else did they do that was pretty good? I guess Grand Theft Auto. I'm trying to think.
Midnight Club.
Huh?
Midnight Club was another good one.
Midnight Club.
Oh,
The
I love man.
the main dude that made Manhunt and Rockstar, he said, I think they said that they never wish they made that game. Somebody told me on a stream recently, in my stream, they said they never wish they did that game. So you'll probably never see a Manhunt again. Never a Manhunt 3. Never see that. That was a really good game. What's the other one that they made? No, they don't do Mad Max. They've done a lot
They
of.
did LA Noire.
Yeah, LA Noire. I never got to play that one either. I played Bully, all the Grand Theft Autos, except Liberty Stories. I never played that, and some of the DLCs. Manhunt was one of my favorites that they did. But basically, they're one of the top developers. A lot of people consider. You know, but I looked through a list. I looked through a list of the biggest developers. You know, who has the most money, and Nintendo is number 4, I believe. I thought Nintendo would be up there, and not in the top 3, but it was who was the top one? I think at the top. We read the list last time on live stream, but a lot of these developers I thought had a boatload of money. They're not really the big ones. Activision is up there with one of the big ones, but they're a good developer, huh?
Yeah, Activision's got to be up there.
Yeah, it was a top 10 list that I found last night, and I was reading through it. I forgot what was number 1, but it was one. EA, I think EA has more money than Ubisoft, or Ubisoft. Yeah, one of the two, one of them. But you would think some of these developers are bigger than they are, but they're not. You know. But the whole thing with Rockstar games, you know, I don't think it's that big of news. I do think it's interesting. Hopefully nothing changes with them and they keep rolling out great games. I do think they're a really good developer. I just think, you know, in my own opinion too, I think that they're sometimes a little, like, people hold them up on a pedestal, you know, but that's just me. What about all this stuff with, I guess, do you want to go into the Snoop Dogg thing now, or do you want to wait till later? Or Armored left now.
Yeah.
So I'll wait till
Sure.
Armored if he comes
Yeah.
back. I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about, I don't know how you guys are with Nintendo, but there's been a lot of stuff going on with Nintendo lately. People, you know, starting their videos up, wanting them to come back from the dead. It's usually a rotating cycle that goes on here on YouTube, especially with the Wii U that it died.
Right.
What's your guys' thoughts on Nintendo, just in general right now? I'm just talking, like, just your overall outlook on Nintendo. Like, when Nintendo comes to mind, what's your first thoughts? Like, don't say, like, Mario or something. Like, do you have any type of need to play Nintendo anymore? Or are you guys done with it? Like, what's your thoughts on Nintendo Test?
I mean, for me, it was I feel like it's more of like a kid's, like, everything they put out is like a lot more
Kids
children
friendly.
oriented than I don't know. I mean, like, personally, I'm into first-person shooters, so like and they don't do any of that. So I mean, Nintendo to me is like something I'd play with the kids on babysitting for, but like I don't know, nothing more really. That's just me though.
And that's where they are now with you. In the past, were you ever a fan of Nintendo? Like,
I had a DS like how long ago? You're like 7, 8 years ago. If that math is correct. I mean, that was like the only, and then I had a Wii further back. But I mean, it was never like a favorite of mine. I never like, was dying over a game that came out or anything. It was more just something to do.
oh, okay. All right. Interesting. What about you, ZA Freak? What's your thoughts on Nintendo in general when they come to mind? Like somebody asks you about Nintendo, or you're like, nah, I play Xbox, not all for Nintendo anymore. Were you ever for Nintendo, or?
Actually, to say it this way, basically, I was born with Nintendo in my hand. Got into Xbox here and there. When I went fully Xbox, I still have my Nintendo GameCube with the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition and a few other GameCube games. So I still play the old games of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and all those, and I'm still a fan. If I start getting more money to put into more gaming equipment, more than likely my next console is going to be a Wii U or whatever the next Wii system is, just because I'm a fan of basically any game.
Oh, that's cool. So you like any game. It don't really matter what brand it is or anything.
Like I was telling my buddies before this podcast, if I had a choice of just sitting there and staring at the wall or play My Little Pony for the rest of my life, I will start up My Little Pony and I will become the master at it. That's all I had to play.
That's interesting, man. What about you, Old Dirty? What's your thoughts on Nintendo right now? Like, basically, what comes to mind with you with Nintendo? Do you like what's going on? Do you even consider Nintendo like to be in the big three, or do you think it's just two there, Microsoft and Sony? What's your thoughts?
I still consider, even though I still consider them as part of, the big three, even though Nintendo really doesn't like to, they don't really like to do competition, with the other companies. With them, they look at it as, we got great games, we want you guys to have our console, and it's just that, they not looking to do all this other stuff, all this battle and console wars and everything. I mean, I'm still a fan of Nintendo. I'm always going to be a fan of Nintendo. I love some of their first-party games. To me, they make some good first-party games. So, I mean, it's some things Nintendo really needs to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like, being stubborn. Not keeping up with the other two consoles, or just not keeping up with times in general. Just being in your own little bubble. Sometimes the world can pass you by without you knowing, and then when you actually see the world passing you by, then it's like it's a little bit too late. So they really have to get back on board. To get with the fan base they have now, but also get the other fan base that that left Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, Nintendo is just like Microsoft and Sony. The only thing Nintendo is missing right now is third party. Once they get third party back, you know what I'm saying? You can still put them up there with Microsoft and Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Nintendo it's a lot of kinks they need to work on, right about now, especially with the gaming community. But at the end of the day, I'm still a fan of Nintendo. I still enjoy I still enjoy playing the games.
Okay. What about you, Zeus? What's your thoughts about Nintendo?
Well, I like my first like game console was the Nintendo Wii, so I always see Nintendo more as like a kid kind of thing, where where they have a lot of more like family games or games that don't really have a kind of a multiplayer where kids can have like a safe environment more to like get into gaming. And I think that's where most of the people who play it are. And then there's some who like I have friends who still play like the Wii U and stuff and Pokemon and all that. And so I think it's more of like a kids thing, and then people who really like the stuff, they keep going, they hold on to it and they keep going with it as kind of more of a hobby.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can respect that. Thanos, where are you at with Nintendo? I don't ever really hear you talk about Nintendo too much.
Oh, you mean Johnson & Johnson, the family company? Nintendo, man. Oh, like with Old Dirty, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the whole Nintendo not really competing thing, because no company comes into a business and say, look, let's make the least amount of money as possible. Nintendo is very, very competitive. It's just with the Wii U, they completely and utterly failed. I mean, it is a complete bust, no matter how you look at it. Like, my Nintendo fan, to an extent, you know, because I don't reminisce on the past that often, you know. So you can have your love for these characters, but let's face it, everybody's moved on to bigger and greater things, and Nintendo is still way, way, way back there, you know. So like even with the Nintendo fans talking about Xenoblade, what was the first thing that they were talking about? Oh my God, look at the graphics, look at the graphics. Seriously? After almost 3 years now, you're talking about being impressed by graphics. You know, it's just the hypocrisy of these motherfuckers. It just cracks me up. But with the NX, man, what they got to do, whatever that thing ends up being, they definitely need third-party support. And even with their new console, they're still not going to be as successful, or maybe never as successful as they once were. You know, the competition out there is too fierce. Ever since Sony hopped on with the PlayStation, it's been a clusterfuck for Nintendo, completely and utterly. You know.
See, with me, I think Sony just came, you know, when Sony appeared, you know, they did that little deal with Nintendo, and that all failed. They were planning on doing it, and they just went like this to Nintendo, excuse me, and pushed them aside and just took over. You know,
pretty much. Yeah,
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, because the only competition at the time was Sega. You know, I mean, you had your little odds and ends like, you know, TurboGrafx 16 and the SNK with the Neo Geos and all that shit, but their real competitors were Sega, and Sega shot themselves in the foot. You know, they just kept coming out with new consoles all the time, and they all kept failing. So by the time they finally came out with a good console, which is I think most people consider a good console, is the Dreamcast, they were already broke. You know, they were already broke. And I'll never forget the day that I opened up that Dreamcast magazine and forgot the name, the guy at EA now, said that that's it. Now Dreamcast is no longer in production. So, but shortly after, you know, Sony and Microsoft were on their tail, and Nintendo's been struggling ever since. Like I say, Nintendo hasn't been a threat to no one since Super Nintendo. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the NX, whatever that console ends up being, they're just going to have to find a way to grind. It's going to be a really hard and tough grinding process for Nintendo to catch up, because that's what they have to do. They have to win the hearts and the trust of their consumers. And they have to step away from that kiddie image. In order to do that, they have to work with third-party developers. They just have to, you know. Nintendo makes phenomenal games. That's no one can ever take that away from them. I don't care who you are. No one can ever take that away from Nintendo. They're a phenomenal developer, and right now Nintendo has a lot on their plate. A lot. Not only they're just a software company, they're also a manufacturing company, a publisher, a developer. They got the fucking DS to take care of. They got the Wii U to take care of. They got their own market, they have a lot of shit on their plate that they need to take care of. You know, so hopefully third party can come in and take some of that burden off their shoulders. But I hope they end up doing good, you know.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope everything works out for them. I don't want to see, like, you know, you have a lot of people coming out with videos now. I don't want to see Nintendo leave. They're all worried with the NX now that the NX is getting closer. And then, like, somebody, well, I'll say Bear Hugger put out a video that said, you know, Xbox or Nintendo every generation has lost 8 to 10 million, you know, units in sales. And I did, you know, that video about a year ago. Like, I've been saying this, you know, and I showed it in that video. And nobody talks about that. And Nintendo's audience is just getting smaller and smaller as time goes on. And if they don't do something with the NX, I think there won't be a, you know, a console after next generation for them. Or this, I guess the NX is going to be an 8th generation console, or is it? Or I don't even know what it's considered. You know, I don't.
Me either. I don't know that.
So basically, that's my point with it. What about you, Kenoshi?
My problem is what for one, why do we need a third console that's exactly like the others? I mean, the problem I have with this industry is that, or at least the community, is that they're always crying for something different. They're always crying for something unique. And when something unique and something different comes, or it just must be just Nintendo, because, you know, Nintendo, through bad decisions and just through media hype, has marked themselves. Whenever something different comes along, they end up, you know, saying, "Oh, we just want to go back to the old ways of controllers." And the problem with VR is everybody's all excited for VR, but yet they were complaining about holding a heavy tablet in their hand, which the tablet isn't very heavy, but they're all excited to put something obstructive on their face. And, you know, the hypocrisy, and not to mention Nintendo's. Even though the Wii U is a failure, they're one of the few gaming companies that are actually still profitable. They're actually still making a decent amount of money. You have the Xbox. True. You have the Xbox One, which is a leech for Microsoft and probably would do better off without it. You have the PlayStation 4, which is Sony's last hope for survival at this point.
You know what was number one on that list, which now that I remember, I'm looking through the list right now. You know what was number one on that list? I don't know how credible this site is.
Right.
ALUX.com, Lux, I don't know, but they claim Sony's number one and Sega's number 6, and I think Nintendo was number 4 and most richest gaming company. But Sony, that would make sense because they own all that other shit. Maybe they're including everything with Sony, like the TVs and everything. Maybe.
Yeah,
they've gone a few years without. You know, I've noticed the last few years they've been talking about these giant losses. So either they're getting money from somewhere else, or
maybe they're just sustaining right now, but they're pretty much still in debt. You know.
Mhm.
Not to mention, you know, the PS4. Like, how many people actually bought it to play games? I mean, yeah, I think there was an article or something some sort of investment PDF that was talking about how a lot of people just bought it for streaming.
Yeah, I can see that. I said in past videos you see a lot of people streaming more, but what are they doing when they're streaming? Like, they're playing games, but they do have Ustream where they all sit there and make a reality show. But I see a lot of people, you know, basically they have the main games like Call of Duty or NBA 2K or something like that, but they are gaming with it, just not buying their exclusives, you know. I mean, you can't. I mean, back in the day with the PS2, yeah, we all know why that sold, because what was it? A DVD player? It was a cheap DVD player, and then the PlayStation 3 was a Blu-ray player, you know. But I mean, I don't know. Is it? You think this? But Xbox streams.
And the thing about the thing about Nintendo is they've always
Not
been.
not well, but it streams.
The thing about
no shots or nothing. But
the thing about Nintendo is they're always their games are which people don't really think about is their games are for everyone, and there are games for kids. They're called early childhood games. I think it's the ESRB is EC, and Nintendo's like the Disney of video games because there's a few layers to their games that you know kids don't really get into, like 100%ing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze or uh, Mario 3D World. There's an extra set of skills you would need for that.
mhm.
You just got to get Mario an AK-47, son.
Yeah.
Just like
That's not, that,
just
can
like
I?
just said with Nintendo, why I like Nintendo and I will always like Nintendo is because they're different. I have the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and to me they basically the same, except for exclusives. Now when I look at my Wii U, I look at totally different games, different genre of games. Like we don't have that anymore between Microsoft, and Sony. And I like how Nintendo likes to kind of change up things. If it's controller wise or the type of game that comes out, we don't get that with Microsoft and Sony. If Microsoft and Sony does do anything, it's because basically they looking at Nintendo.
Now, are
You know,
we talking about their exclusives, or are we talking about the whole catalog? Because I have
I'm
to
talking
agree
about
that Sony has more of a variety than Nintendo. They have racing games, they have basketball. I don't see Nintendo have any sports games but Mario Tennis right now.
I'm, I'm
Come on.
I'm talking about in the whole in general of how you look at Sony. Like when you think of Sony, what's the first thing that pops in your head? You know what I'm saying? It's just like with Nintendo, even with the handhelds are different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, just like um the guy just said, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. He was saying that people didn't want to play with with the tablet because it was they thought it was just too big, too bulky, too heavy, which is not. But then you talk about VR, you know what I'm saying, and now you got the whole community like, oh yeah, I can't wait to VR. But these were the same people
Hey,
who
can
two,
I,
3 years ago complaining that, oh, I hate going to the theaters to watch movies in 3D because I hate to put glasses on and watch movies in 3D. But
can
yet you willing to put this big giant thing on your head to be in VR? Like,
can I interject? There's just I'm on a site called My Nintendo News, and there's a breakdown of the demographics who are on the eShop, and the higher demographics are 25 to 34, 46%, 18 to 24, 33%, 13 to 17, 5%, 0 to 12, 1%.
So what is it? What's the highest person? I didn't hear you, Kenoshi. I'm just curious because I was looking at something I read right
The
now.
highest percent is 25 to 34-year-olds, 46%.
Yeah, because you know why? And we're talking about Nintendo, right? That's
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Nintendo,
That's
it's
what Nintendo's is left of Nintendo's audience, the people that grew up on it.
exactly. So it's kind of weird to just call it a kid console since kids aren't really buying Nintendo stuff anymore. It's you got 0 to 12-year-olds, again, 1%, 13 to 17-year-olds, 5%, and as it gets older, the percentage goes up.
What is
So
that? Who's playing or of who is actually buying the games?
The adults are buying. Like what Kenoshi's trying to say basically is he's looking at the major percentage of people that's playing it are like people our age, and even though people label it as a kids console, adults are buying it. So does that make it a kids console?
I mean, you have you know, I've been on Call of Duty. I've been on the Xbox 360. I was on the 360. I heard a lot of 12, 13-year-olds screaming on in the microphone, calling me all sorts of things while playing Gears of War. So I can't. The kids are more interested in the Gears of, you know, like the violent Call of Duties and all that other stuff. I mean, I guess we could have a moral discussion about it, but that's just
That's
what they're
Well,
into.
but
that's a hard thing to discuss because you got to remember that the world is a lot bigger than the block that you live on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a matter of perspective, but like our perspective doesn't reflect 380 million Americans. You know, so
Yeah.
like when people say like, oh, people are going crazy, everybody's going crazy about VR. Well, the key word you said everybody. You know, and it's not. I mean, you're talking about the same guys that were complaining about a $150 controller, but they all fall for a $600 peripheral. I don't know about that, son. So, but I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave. What you were saying?
I had something I wanted to say that just slipped my mind. It was something to do with the whole thing Kenoshi was saying with Nintendo. I don't know, just anybody else on it. It'll come back to me for sure. But I just had something I wanted to say. But we'll go into it. What Kenoshi's based. Kenoshi does bring up a good point. If adults are buying kids' products, supposedly, does that make it a kids' product still? I would have to say yes, because I'm sorry if I have Uncharted. Well, this is what I was gonna say. Most kids nowadays, and kids have always been like this, they want to play what adults are playing. They don't want to play what kids are supposed to play. Like my ex-girlfriend's son, he wanted to watch fucking It the Clown with me. He wanted to watch Freddy Krueger. He didn't want to watch fucking SpongeBob, And I let him, because it let him, that was the only thing that would calm him down. He was ADHD off the wall. He'd be coming home from his dad's house doing fucking backflips off the wall. So I had put on It the Clown. He watched the whole fucking 4-hour movie, and he's all interested. He watched Exorcism of Emily Rose, a court-based horror movie, even the boring parts, because kids want to do what adults are doing. They don't want to, see, we were forced back in the day to play Mario, and, because Mario was pretty much all you had, That was what everybody was playing. It was something new. See, Nintendo isn't the new thing no more. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo is available for everybody at this time. We didn't have Microsoft, and we didn't have Sony back in the day,
Right.
So I do see what Kenoshi is getting at. It makes sense. You could look at it either way.
Right. Well, it takes an adult to buy a console. I have a hard time an 8-year-old dropping $300 on the counter.
Well, and too, GameStop's not going to let them go in and buy GTA without their mom there. They can buy Mario though.
Aren't they supposed to card? Oh, that's policy. That's store policy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, the GameStop was ripping off fucking kids all the time. I remember hearing a lot of stories. Kids were going in. Their parents were buying them games, and they're trading these games off they paid $60 for next to nothing. And the kids are the ones doing the trading, and the parents are like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Going to the store and yelling at them. So that's why they have to have ID and all that now. The kids, because shit like that was going on. GameStop was fucking, robbing children. So,
Yeah.
and to bring up the whole thing with the richest companies, number one is Microsoft. I didn't make a mistake. I just got the list right now. I didn't quite remember. They're at $37.2 billion, but this is a list from 2000. This is going on 2015, and Sony was number 2 with $17.49 billion, and third was Activision and Blizzard with $16.29 billion, and then Nintendo with $14.6 billion. And Electronic Arts and Sega's number 6. Sega actually has got more money than Ubisoft going by this list. So it's pretty interesting. I was just curious last night when we were streaming. We were talking about something with the richest companies. It got brought up on the stream. But that
would be like Microsoft, the Xbox division then, right?
They said Microsoft Studios. That's what they said. That's what they have it labeled. But I don't know how credible this site is. I'm not sure. I just brought it on the top.
That would be Microsoft Studios.
I mean, Armor.
Doesn't Microsoft have a game studios though? Also,
that is their game studios. The whole division for their game studios is under Microsoft Studios, and then it's broken off into different divisions.
So, going by this list, Armored, would you think that sounds right? With Sony being second, and Activision third, with Blizzard?
Well, yeah, because Microsoft does have more money than Sony, based in general, so they would put more into it. But that doesn't mean that they have more money that they're putting in the games. They
Okay.
could be putting that all over the place. But
But
that's
when
just how much they have in their studio.
when people go, oh, Nintendo's got all this money in the bank, does that mean Sony's got more money in the bank than them?
Yeah,
Well,
that would mean that. But what it comes
that's
down to is, okay, you can have as much money as you want in the bank, but what it comes down to is how much money you're using on your games. So Microsoft could have $30 billion in the bank right now for Microsoft Studios, which is their gaming division, but they may only use maybe $4 billion out of that every year or whatever. The other shit may be used for, maintenance costs, keeping the servers up, because you got to think about all that shit too.
Well, that's a Nintendo fanboys' big argument. They always say, well, Nintendo's got all this money in the bank. That's the first thing they bring up, when they're cornered in an argument. I just want to know. So obviously Microsoft and Sony's doing great. They got more money in the bank, so that means they're more.
Well, yeah, but you gotta also reason why Microsoft have so much money is because they feed off like their company is so big and they have so much stuff in different areas that they're probably taking assets and funds from other sections of the company to feed into there.
Sony's doing that too with their TVs and all their other shit.
Yeah, they're leeching. I remember during the PlayStation.
Microsoft and Nintendo's not doing that because they're only got one little thing that they can, run off of.
And that's impressive. They're just doing one thing, so I have to give Nintendo that.
I remember during the PlayStation 3 era, they were using the PS3 as sort of a marketing item to sort of like a gateway drug, if I may use that term, to buy all their other products like their home theater systems and their TVs and stuff like that. So they pull different resources from different places when it comes to either marketing or comes to building their consoles.
Well, they all do it. I mean, the only one that doesn't do it is Nintendo. So, I mean, you can't rag on Sony or Microsoft for doing it. It's the same thing with, like, the hardware. Like, you have what's in the hardware, then you have real-world applications for what the hardware can do. It's the same thing with the company. They may have this money in the bank, but that doesn't mean they use the money all for games. They have to use that money to pay their employees. They have to use that money to finance their games, keep maintenance up for the servers, keep the sites up.
It sounds more like production.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds more like.
Nintendo kind of pulls resources from other places because they have to get their graphics cards from other companies because, they work with other companies to make their graphics cards and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean like inside the console itself?
Yeah, inside the motherboards and the chipsets.
Oh yeah. That's a couple of companies, I think, but the APUs will be AMD.
Yeah.
And they gotta cut a nice profit off that shit too.
Yeah.
Anybody else on this subject? At least we talked. I always feel bad every podcast I neglect Nintendo.
The real winner of the console war is AMD.
You would be correct, though. I mean, because they are financing for all the hardware for everybody right now. So technically, by you saying that, Kenoshi, you would say it's PC that's winning because they're a PC-based company.
Yeah.
We got on this big spew last night. Afterlife Battlefront. He was in the live stream going on about PC versus consoles. In your guys' opinion, what do you think PC versus... Is somebody playing the podcast? Or is that me?
That's you.
Is it? I don't
think so.
I don't think so.
It's PC versus consoles is his question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, this is a fact. And motherfuckers like to take facts and make into opinion, therefore it's arguable. But no, PCs will always be under the shadows of consoles. It's just that simple.
I don't believe that, and here's the reason why I don't believe that. I'm going to get in an argument right now with you, Thanos. Round one.
Bring it on, son.
Run, son. This is why I don't believe that shit, because I don't never put a goddamn PC next to a console. I believe PCs are their own entity and their own fucking beast. They're their own platform. It's the same thing I say with the PC and console exclusives. That's the reason why I'm a firm believer on console exclusives and PCs exclusives. You know.
I look at it from
So
the game developers' perspective. Like, who's making the games? Developers. They also make it for console as well. But the shit is that these PCs, they simply just get ports. That's all it is. It's just a port. No game developers really taking advantage of a 8 gigaflop, 10 gigaflop GPU computing power.
what's
They're
that new
not.
game that's on PC right now? The reason why I want to get my PC, Advent Children, not Advent Children, something. The one that you're in space. You know what I'm talking
Elite
about?
Dangerous?
No,
Elite
not Elite
Star
Dangerous.
Citizen?
Star Citizen.
Star
Yeah.
Citizen.
I've seen gameplay
Yeah.
of that. Now that is the reason why I want to get a PC.
And I bought the game. The thing runs like garbage, and it should because it's an alpha, so I expect it to. You know what I mean? The game does look absolutely phenomenal and
But
beautiful.
we'll
I
never
would-
see.
I would-
I guarantee we'll never see that game come over to consoles for at least another 6 more years, if it
Listen-
does.
Listen,
Well, that's running from the Crytek engine. As a matter of fact, the whole team from Crytek, like the head honchos, like the real talented people from Crytek, are working with Star Citizen crew right now. You know what I mean? Like the most talented.
I would hold your money on that because I have a friend who was really in the Star Citizen, who backed it, and is feeling very skeptical about the project right now.
Well, like Thanos said, it's an alpha. I don't believe anything because
Yeah.
I would say the same thing when I first played back in April. Ark Survival, fucking Evolve. I thought the same thing because I wanted to see how well that game was gonna do because that was gonna be my next pick for this year for 2016. And playing through the alpha for these last 7 months, I still say that that's one of the best games I'm looking at for 2016.
And the thing about Star Citizen, though, Star Citizen is such a massive project that the game is not going to come out in one shot. It's going to be released in phases because the game is just so fucking huge. Like, they have so many things planned out for the game. It'll take them another 6-7 years to actually complete the game.
Oh,
So same thing with Elite Dangerous. The game is just so massive. They're gonna release it in phases as far as expansion packs. But like PCs and consoles, it should be to the point where PC games look like the movie Avatar as far as graphics go, and they're nowhere near it.
Consoles are holding PCs back. It's
Yeah, you know, PCs, you have to spend a lot of money. You really have to push the performance. You need a lot of horsepower just to achieve 60 FPS. So a lot of these games are not optimized. And I hear people all the time talking about they have 2 Titans, they have 2 fucking Crossfire and AMD cards or whatever it may be. And the sad reality is that most games don't even take advantage of Crossfire and SLI. They just don't.
So if you're just in the business of building a PC for video games, is it worth spending piles of money to, get?
And I'm a PC guy, so I know what it's like. You know what you're spending your money on? You're spending the money on the idea of. That's what you're spending your money on the idea of. It's the idea that you're investing your money of. So it's just weird. But PC is a phenomenal platform. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the fact that you can go back, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years ago and play retro games that way and then go to modern instantly. But as far as it being like the device that's consumer friendly, no, PC is not consumer friendly. It's getting better ever since with Steam.
You also have to account for the thousands and thousands of different variations that people have. You also have to develop for those to make the games work. That costs an extra bit of money.
Well, look at people like Rockstar with GTA 5.
Yeah.
They say, you know what? We really don't need you. We'll make you wait a year. The real money, the real profit is at the consoles. Same thing with Bungie. Look at Bungie with what they did with Destiny. We could survive easily without the PC market because they know where the money's at. Developers know where the money's at, and that's at the consoles. So.
And I bet most of those people who are really waiting for GTA 5 pirated it anyway. Got the Black Flag edition.
Yeah, it cuts into their pockets, but they made more than enough money. But I don't think PC's not going to be a threat to console until the day Microsoft comes about and be like, you know what, we're going to make PC a platform and we're going to make it our platform. We're going to put live on PC. Then Sony needs to be afraid.
And I'm saying and if they make PC modular, like there are various companies doing that, like Razer, then snap the pieces in without worrying about screws and stuff.
But Kenoshi, I've seen people struggle putting a battery in a cell phone. You know, I mean, it's so fucking. It's just that's for a small margin. That's for a small percentage of gamers. You know, when it comes to like the PC and being tech savvy and being snapping devices. That's why these consoles you really don't attach anything to it, because as I would imagine as a blueprint or engineer, like how do we make this console dummy proof? You know, where literally all the consumer has to do is just turn it on. That's it. You know, so.
Do you think in 10, 20, 30 years that consoles will disappear and you'll just have a dummy terminal box that'll just stream all the games to your dummy terminal?
Well, I think eventually, I think Miyamoto has a fantasy, but this vision of his is so deep into the future. Like, I think a true game experience is where you actually manipulate the human conscience, where you actually kind of like the Matrix, where you actually plug your conscience into a device, and you can't distinguish reality from gameplay.
Oh, that's scary. Have any of you ever played Soma or looked at gameplay of that?
Sonar? No.
Soma.
Soma? Oh, yeah, it sounds familiar. PC, right?
Yeah, it's PC, PlayStation 4 game. It's about that idea. It's about the guy goes to a guy suffers from head trauma. He goes to a doctor, and they're using some sort of experimental technique. And what they do is scan your brain to figure out what's going on with it. And when they scan his brain, he wakes up, I think, a couple hundred years into the future as a robot, and he doesn't really realize he's a robot. He fights the idea that he is a robot, but he walks around and sees that there's this AI. You're in this underwater base. This AI has taken a lot of the human consciousness and stuffed them into robots, but the humans don't realize that they're robots. Or machines.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think that's what VR I think VR takes us like 80% to that point, because if you have that virtual reality and you're actually falling in the game, you see the reaction of people, like they're getting down to the ground and they look like they're falling. You know what I mean? That's you're really manipulating the brain that way. I'm just wondering if it's going to be like an exhausting experience, But
yeah, I wonder what this is going to do to people in the next few years.
Well, actually, with the whole Soma deal that you mentioned, I've actually heard, I don't know, I watch a lot of YouTube and all that, and I actually heard of a couple creepy and interesting things. Some groups are actually looking into that whole virtual reality AI memory type deal, where if someone dies, either if they have enough money to pay for it, they can have themselves cryogenically frozen for their brain to be uploaded as AI, or have their brain diced up into small bits, frozen, so it can be uploaded into AI. But I hope it's a rumor, because, yeah.
That just sounds for many people that might actually sound cool, but that just sounds a little scary to me.
Well, that's what they did in Avatar, the movie. Basically, they pretty much took your conscience, and they were able to take your conscience and put it into another biological, body. And I think that's a technology it's a creepy type of technology, but they're working on that. How do you take the human conscience and put it into an actual device?
But then again, are you still actually you, or is it just a copy of you?
More than likely, in my thought, since I've been raised Christian and all that, and I do believe a lot of that, it's more than likely a copy of your personality and all your thoughts and all your memories uploaded into the internet. And I even asked one of my friends about it, and he would say he wouldn't want it to happen to him because he's mentally off a bit. I mean, he has a certain disorder, and he will probably have nuclear fire everywhere once he gets on the internet and have access to the internet just by a thought process.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's saying that with his tummy full and his lips are nice and moist. But let's say let's say you're paralyzed. You say you wouldn't want that opportunity to actually take your conscious and put into a healthy body. I would like, yeah, let's go for it, son.
Well, the
You know
question
what I
I'm
mean?
trying to ask him, and I don't think any of us can answer, but something worth pondering, is will you actually be you within that body, or will you be actually dead and that just be nothing more than just a copy of yourself?
I would want to say it's a copy, but that's basically people's opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to have to think about. That's basically going almost like a religious deal of this religion's better than that religion's. It's basically all opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. What, did you guys ever see that movie Transcendence where Johnny Depp, where he uploads his mind into the computer? Is that what we're talking about? Something like that?
Pretty much. Pretty much uploading it to a machine.
Okay. I could see them doing that if they already didn't do that already. That's how, I mean, they probably did something like that already in the United States. Like, doesn't, I know this ain't nothing, it's kind of to do with this, but it ain't with somebody's brain into a computer. But remember Walt Disney, I think he's frozen waiting to be brought back from the light, whenever they make the technology to bring somebody back. I think his body's at Disneyland or Disney World, one of them. So it's interesting what they're planning to do in the future. I think that could be a bad thing or a good thing with somebody's mind going into the computer, but
oh God, you know how rulers of the world are gonna rule forever, man.
Oh,
the Queen of England, that bitch is never gonna die. So.
Could you imagine like a tyrant getting a hold of that technology and putting himself in a giant, computer-based system? Be like Terminator. Be like Terminator times 10.
It was a Skynet.
Skynet thing.
I actually heard that there's a company called Skynet already made a while back, and they have roughly the same type, not the whole Terminator deal, but it's more of like, I think, a surveillance.
Yeah, they're called Google.
No, actually, there is a Skynet company, and it's based on something over the internet. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, there's probably a company. I mean, I'm sure there is.
Oh, there's a company. Called Square Enix shut down their Shinra company. They actually have a company called Shinra, which was developing cloud-based technology.
So Dave, your Xbox tried to self-combust on you?
Yeah, we'll get to that soon. Anybody else on this subject?
No. We can go straight to Xbox now, son.
No, that's for the last. That's for the end. One thing I heard, Square Enix canceled pre-orders on Hitman, I guess because of changes.
Yeah.
They didn't try to do that whole augment your pre-order thing, did they?
Well, it says right here, Square Enix cancels PS4 pre-orders for Hitman gamers that pre-ordered Hitman in the PlayStation Store have a bit of bad news today. Their pre-orders for the game has been canceled due to significant changes. So I know a lot of people looking forward to Hitman. I don't know if that's probably a sign that it may be getting delayed. It's set to release on March 11th, but I don't know. I love the Hitman series. I think it's great.
Well, like whoever's complaining about it, just take a deep breath. You'll be fine. You'll live. It's not that big of a deal. That's how I feel about it.
And then there was something else too that popped up. And then there's a lot of people going on about Amazon offering discounts right now on games for
For Prime, it's 20% off if you have Prime for pre-orders, and that's you get $12 off the game.
And you know who does something just like that right now? Best Buy, where you actually get 20% off on even shits if it's discount as long as it's new. Like if I see a game on sale, I get 20% off on top of that. And you get, say like, for example, Gears of War 4. Like if you go pre-order that and that's in the list of games, you get an extra $10.
Wait, this only works for pre-orders?
Yeah.
No, well, that's for pre-orders. This Gamers Club Unlocked is $30 for 2 years, which is going to be what you're going to pay from GameStop for $15 a year, and you're getting 20% off on any fucking new game in the store, even if it's on sale.
Oh, are you saying Best Buy has like this Gamers Club for only $30 a year?
Yep, for 2 years.
For 2 years? Holy crap!
I've preached it in videos. I've been preaching. RXL was the first one to bring it up. And I ignored him too.
The official spokesperson for Best Buy.
It's good though. Like you see how much money I saved on games at Old Dirty. Like tell him he does it too. Is Old Dirty there? Or is he?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your experience with Gamers Club Unlocked?
Dave's trying to get on that corporate slave award this year.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they it's 20% off. You know, new games, 10% off used games. I mean, even with the new games, that's $12 off, and with certain games that you pre-order, they give you $10 back to use in the store on anything. It don't have to be on a video game. It could be on a Blu-ray movie. It could be on a Bluetooth speaker. They giving you money back just for pre-order and picking it up.
Sometimes they just send you fucking gift. $20.
Forewarning.
$20 for nothing. They sent me one time. I didn't even know what I got it for.
I don't know. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I haven't put a disc in an Xbox in over a year. I don't buy discs anymore.
I haven't till I got the Gamers Club Unlocked. I went all digital on my PlayStation, and then I changed all that shit the minute I learned about this.
Speaking of PlayStation and discounts, I don't know if the sale is going on, but apparently Newegg had a sale on PlayStation 4 snail mail PlayStation Plus cards.
Oh, okay.
They don't usually have sales. Like I tried going on CD Keys to check out PS Plus sales, and they're always $50.
What about, and also too, what about this whole thing? What was the other news? PlayStation, I guess, tried to copyright or the name Let's Play.
They still have a chance of doing it.
How can they do that though?
They
I'd say
can
go for it,
appeal.
man.
Look, they can appeal the disclaimer. They have up to 6 months to appeal it. Once they appeal it, all they have to do is change whatever the court did not allow, because there were certain clause into whatever they were trying to get for Let's Play, and if they fix whatever they didn't allow, they have the chance to get it back.
Why don't they just spell Let's Play?
But they have up to 6 months to repeal the claim.
Why don't they just respell Let's Play to like LETZPLAI?
It's not that. It's not that. It wasn't the name how it was spelled. It was what they wanted to use it for.
Oh, okay.
According to their terms and conditions, there was something that they were trying to use it for, where the government felt that it was too broad of a use. So whatever that was, if they change that and they add something else or reword it, however,
yeah, they just
can
have
go
to
back and
reword
get
it differently. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the way the laws work. It's just the interpretations of words and meanings.
Yep, pretty much. So they have up to 6 months to appeal the charges.
Did they change the spelling? Because I know for
It's not the spelling.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything to deal with the spelling. It was what they were trying to use the word for, like what they was going to implement it for.
Okay.
Is anybody against it though? Who's against it?
A lot of YouTubers are, because of the fact that they would have to take out Let's Play in every video they have.
I seen Real Gamer. I think he was against that. I could be wrong.
And there's a lot of the bigger YouTubers are also afraid of them because they could go and get the money back from them for all the money that they made for Let's Plays videos.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why a lot of people are against it.
Oh.
And
Fuck
that's
it, I
why
say go for it.
Let's Play is gonna be Freaks Play.
So, but they have up to 6 months to appeal it. So, I mean, if they want to appeal it and retry, they can.
Okay. Thank you for bringing the information on that, because I heard something about that.
Yeah, there was I'd have to send you the link, but there was this YouTuber. I don't know if you know who fucking X Factor is, that actually brung that up, and he had like the whole article and everything set out on the appeal papers and everything for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that. I saw, like, the only reason I knew of it, I watched a little bit of Real Gamers podcast, and he mentioned it. And then two, I guess the division is gonna have a beta the 28th for.
Well, the division's about to get a lot of love from fucking esports.
It looks like a good game. I saw some gameplay. I saw some people bashing it for some reason. I don't know what kind of fucking drugs they're in, but it looks good to me. Is the people against the new IP? Is that what it is? Like, gamers don't want new IP?
No, they're just cynical towards Ubisoft. They've been screwing people over.
I think it's due to the fact that they feel like it's going to end up like Watch Dog. This game has been talked about so much, and it's been around like since the fucking Xboxes and PlayStation first came out for this generation, and they feel like they're getting overly hyped on it, just like Watch Dogs was.
And then you got Watch Dogs 2. We already talked about this in the podcast last week, but Watch Dogs 2 is coming out this year.
Is that confirmed by Ubisoft?
It was mentioned when they talked about delaying the Assassin's Creed push.
But that was a rumor, though. That wasn't vetted by any other actual main news story.
Site. I saw it on one of the big channels. I think like IGN. They did a video on it, so I don't know how.
Yeah, but they even said in their disclaimer for that video that it was a rumor.
The reason why they said this happened was because of the sales of Syndicate. They fucking bombed the first week.
Yeah, because what's it called? The Now did the same thing. They did a piece on it too, but they said that it was all rumor mill because it was done on a N4G or whatever was the main article that it came from, and it sounds legit because the guy that was posting everything sounded like a legit fucking developer, but until they actually get news from Ubisoft that it's still a rumor.
Most likely, I would say that's a strong rumor because I don't see them. I know they're going to make another Watch Dogs. They already said they would because it did really well. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't see all these games coming out this year. There's no way in fucking hell we're going to see all these games this year. Ubisoft's going to have South Park, The Division, Far Cry Primal. What's some of the? They have like 2 more games. Do you think?
Yeah, they have Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon. Like, how are all these games and all the other ones? I'm just saying.
Well, they could come out because they're all different developers. Like, you got to understand, Ubisoft has what, 9 or 10 studios?
Yeah, but I mean, are they gonna? I mean, with the Ubisoft's past with broken games, you don't think a good chance one of them will be?
Oh yeah, there will be a few that are broken, but I mean they do have 9 or 10 different studios. They could
all of them will be broken on PC day one.
And they're gonna on top of that, all these games are gonna be released, around the same time. Like next month, for example, you got Plants vs Zombies 2 and Far Cry Primal coming out in the same day. You're gonna see all that shit.
Plants vs Zombies is EA.
No, I'm just saying. I'm talking general, like, big games are going to be like. Look at March. Like, that's going to hurt game sales too. Like on certain.
Yeah,
games.
but here's the thing. Last year, people was bitching that there wasn't enough games during the spring. Now this year, people are bitching that there's too many games.
No, I'm not bitching. There's too many. I'm just saying. I don't.
Well, no, I'm not saying you, Dave. But I hear this from a lot of YouTubers. Like, you go back and you look at a lot of YouTubers now. From last year, this time, they're bitching because there's no games, there's a drought, there's this, there's that. But now that we got all these games coming out, you have people bitching because there's too many games to buy.
Well, Armored, the reality is people on this gaming site just love to bitch. That is the
you have to get used to that here. I was shocked by it first, too, and then you learn that they just want to cry about everything.
Oh, well, they cry about shit because that's what get them views.
Exactly.
I mean, whatever the new thing to attack is what's going to make someone views. I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, like, you need to vet your shit and, stick to your fucking lane on what you want to do.
Well, the problem is that most of these guys are emotionally invested. You know, that's the problem. You know, that's how you get people who are biased and shit, because they're emotionally involved in it. They don't know how to look at things objectively. They look at things subjectively.
Yeah, I wish they would. I wish they would have games.
I hope
like,
a lot of these games do come out, because I feel like a lot of the games this generation have been lacking, and I want one of these to be a fucking killer IP. You know, a sleeper hit. In all honesty.
So are people still talking about the Division downgrades? Or people still making videos about that?
That's the whole downgrade thing is fucking silly. That's to argue about, you know, little pennies falling. You know what I'm saying?
Look, that downgrade was simply put. The videos that we were seeing before, like that downgrade video came out, was probably all upscaled fucking PC builds that they were showing us, that they were claiming that was consoles, and when they actually showed a real console fucking build, it was downgraded.
It's like and
that's just the simple fact, and people don't want to admit to that shit.
Yeah, it's so different when you see a trailer for a movie. It looks all action packed. When you go see the movie, shit was boring.
It's it's the fast food effect. You know, that's.
Well, Thanos just made a perfect analogy. How many times have you seen good movie trailers, and like they have all the great action scenes from the movie trailer, and then when you go watch it, like you'll only see maybe like 15 seconds or maybe like 5 minutes worth of good action, and then the rest of the movie's fucking dry as a motherfucker.
Or you watch a food commercial, and they make all the food look really colorful and really enticing. And then you actually go get it, and it looks like somebody just slopped it on the plate. It looks like
you're absolutely right. It looks nothing, the way it does on the picture. You know, we should be accustomed to that. You know, but video games is a new breed. So people are more opinionated than normal, but
I remember when the Watch Dogs trailer came out, everybody was acting like it was looked like a 64 game.
I thought that game was going to be garbage. I thought it was a rip-off of fucking Grand Theft Auto, and I bought the game. The only thing good about that game was spider tanks. The fucking spider tank was the best thing about it.
There are good things about that sequence. What were you gonna say, Dave?
Oh, I had to get something. My fucking tooth's driving me nuts. I just went and got fucking Amazon. I'm listening.
Dude, try salt water.
Oh yeah, I've tried everything. I'm gonna take some pliers to my teeth very soon. I mean, I must like eat this shit after a while. This Amosel shit or Orgel.
If you're doing that much to it, man, you might as well get that tooth pulled.
Well, when I was locked up, I remember like if you go to the dentist there, it's like $15 a tooth. They'll pull it. So I might have to go commit.
Well, at my job, they'll only fucking pull your teeth. They won't do anything else. Like they won't put fucking cavities and shit on there.
Well, no, I'd love to just be in there to get it pulled. I wish that I would have got it done when I was in there, but they weren't bothering me then.
I say do it, Dave, because one day you probably wake up and you got to go to the ER. The pain is so bad, so.
Yeah, well, if you've seen some of my back teeth, like how they're fucking cracked and shit, you would be. I mean, I think I've dealt with some toothaches, but all part of getting older. Sucks.
Yeah.
Not fun. I mean, I remember when I was.
Thanos does know that because he is ancient. That motherfucker's about as old as a caveman.
I'm an old motherfucker.
Another thing. Did anybody play Plants vs. Zombies, like the beta? I want to hear.
Yes.
I haven't played it, but I watched some people play it yet. I was gonna do that later.
Talking about
it reminds me of the first one.
That my only problem. I'll let you guys say everything, whatever you want to say, but this is my problem with it. I love it, but the only modes they let you play is modes that were on the game before. If the game don't have any new modes, which I'm sure it does. Yeah. I don't see, for somebody like me that played the first one to death, the only thing I'm going to get new out of it is some characters and some new guns, which is all. The new characters are great. But they got to have
menus. That menu scheme looks really fucking good. Like being able to walk around and like access the menu the way you got your own little hub. Yeah. You know, that reminds me of, I don't know if you ever played the game, but Iron Brigade.
No, I never played that one.
Oh, Iron Brigade had the same design. Like it was on the 360 PC and PlayStation 3. You could literally like walk onto the gunship and you could take your fucking character and walk around, pick your own areas, had your own little menu hub and everything that you could work on. and that's really fucking cool. But
Swings are ridiculous.
but beyond, I mean, the game reminds me so much of the first one, so it's definitely a day one buy.
Oh,
The first
for
one was fun as
First
fuck.
Zombie?
Yeah.
Or okay, you know it. You got people complaining that it's not. It's $60 now, and it was 40.
Wait, it's 60?
Yeah, but I mean, the first one they weren't sure if it was going to sell, and it was actually did well. You
Yeah,
know.
because the first one was like $39.
Well, they gave you free DLC, and I'm sure they're doing it again. I would pay 60 for this. I would have paid 60 for the last one. You know.
I think what happened with me was, in the beginning, when that game first came out, we got it because originally there was not that much on the Xbox One. We got that game, me, my wife, and a couple of my cousins and friends. We all got it because we were waiting for Titanfall. So we needed something to kill time. And while we were playing Plants vs. Zombies, I mean, it was fun. And then, so this time around, I'm playing it, right? I'm trying out the beta, and I'm just not feeling it. It's not the way it used to be. It's not as fun as the game was, and that's because things around me change. Well, what is that? Battlefield's around. Halo
Thanos
5
ain't ready
is
for that
around.
fucking Battlefield.
Rainbow Six is around. So I'm starting to look at games on games that are worth investing my time in, and Plant vs. Zombie is just not one of them. Yeah, I'll probably, I can get it and try it out, but it's not something I'm willing to invest time in, not as much as, like, let's say Rainbow Six, or Halo 5. It's different this time. There's a lot more options this time around, so I'm definitely not getting Plants vs. Zombie this time around.
Okay.
So,
I hope they let us try some. The only thing I want from the beta before it ends, let us try some new modes. I don't want to try Team Vanquish, something I played a million times. Like, let's see, because I noticed when you go to the little hub and you go to the bus and you go somewhere else, they say, "Oh,
Is Gardens and Graveyard on there?"
They let you go into the graveyard to do this unlimited.
No. The game mode, Gardens and Graveyard.
I think that is the other one that's in it, because that's the other one where you push the ball.
That was one of my favorite modes because it was they took that from Rush from Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways, that's what it reminds me of.
It's not going to be for everybody, but I'll say that game, I played the first one to death. I loved it. I spent a lot of time into it because of one person I was playing it with. That's all he wanted to play, but I did like it.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. It's not fucking broken. It's not a mess. That's one thing EA is doing correct. Is their Plants vs. Zombies.
Speaking of the new Rainbow Six game, I've heard it described as a $60 free-to-play game. You guys, I've heard Dave. You talk about you said it's a good game. Thanos, I haven't really heard much of you. What do you think of the game?
Thanos.
Oh, me?
Yeah, what do you think?
Now, Thanos, remember, the corporate slave reward is being redue for this year, so you can be a part of it.
I don't know. I want to try it. I want to try it out. I mean, because I did try the beta. Was it on PC?
Now remember, Thanos,
it was on PS4.
Slaves.
The only thing I know you can't compare these two games, but I have to say Plants vs. Zombies has a hell of a lot more modes than Rainbow Six does. I don't know what they're going to do with Rainbow Six, because Rainbow Six is one of them situations like, here's the game now, but we'll add it more. We'll add the rest later. That's a situation of Rainbow Six.
And the crazy part is that game would have been a perfect fit on the Wii U. The Garden.
Yeah.
That's a shame that a game like that is not on the Wii U.
Yeah, they don't get along with EA. Supposedly, though, the NX, they sent them dev kits. EA is on board. They're ready to go. Supposedly they said that.
Didn't they say that with the Wii U, though?
Yeah, they said this one. Well,
they said the same thing with the Wii U.
Yeah, in the beginning, they were holding hands and shit on stage. I saw that shit.
The Microsoft and Sony, I think, are going to back away from money hatting. So there might come a day when they don't have to have a choice. They're going to have to grit their teeth and say, we got to make money somewhere.
Yeah, but that Microsoft and Sony backing away from money hatting is only going to last them for about 2 years, and then they'll go back to doing it.
Yeah.
probably.
Well, I know in Garden Warfare, there was so much more happening on screen this time around. It is a really nice
Oh,
looking game to
oh
look
yeah.
at.
Now it's like when you're in the one mode we were playing, there was so much shit going on.
Yeah.
You didn't even know where to turn. Like it
But you
was.
gotta remember that this one is the one that's completely for next generation consoles. The first one that they did was for both next generation and last
Yeah.
gen.
I think,
And that's the reason why it's got more.
in my opinion, they could do this game on last gen just like they did the previous one. I think at least. But they're not doing it this time. It is it's only on next gen, so.
Yeah, and hopefully if they're asking for a $60 price tag on it, they can offer a lot more than prior, and I think that they will.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is, like, I see games out there for $60 not even offering half what Plants vs Zombies offered last time for 40.
Yeah, the Order 1886, perfect example.
Hey.
18 minutes and 86 seconds.
See, I had no problem with the Order. I like the Order, but I have to agree it was a short fucking game. Just like Rise. Rise was shorter, I think. I played Rise. I beat that right away. And Rise, you had repetitive fucking.
But Rise.
What? Let's Rise versus Order. Are we gonna have
Rise had more gameplay than. It had more gameplay than the fucking Order. It had more gameplay than the Order.
When the Order did the gameplay, it wasn't the same characters constantly coming after you. Like with the Rise, I have the same character movements coming after you, same characters. They all look the same, but they look.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But there was still more fucking gameplay than goddamn movie trailers.
Did you play the Order?
No,
I did not play the Order.
They're two completely different games. I mean, one's a shooter and one's a hack and slash.
No, but both these games are compared so many different times, especially on graphics. I see that all.
Yeah, they're both beautiful, I think.
And they're both short games.
Rise was definitely fucking beautiful.
I like the story though of the Order 1886 more. It was more intriguing than Rise.
I liked Rise. I actually did.
You can also compare them both because they'll never be made again.
Oh,
I can see an Order sequel or fucking Rise.
And the Order had a perfect setup with they were going to introduce other creatures, like because he finds the creatures in the middle of the game or like I will agree it was a short game,
The problem I've witnessed with the Order is that it seems like they blew their load on their first game, and that's the problem. You shouldn't put, especially in these days where development is so much more expensive.
Wasn't the name of that game like hinting towards a sequel though?
Yeah. I think they had a good portion of the sequels already done, because part of the 5-year process went in that as well. But I mean, that's all speculation. We don't know. I mean, Sony owns the rights to that IP, so hopefully.
Okay, so Sony owns the IP.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we would see another one. The reason why we won't see another Order Rise is because fucking Crytek owns the rights to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they just maybe cut back on
the. Crytek had that series has been going on forever though. Like people don't understand. Rise has been around for a minute.
Rise was an original. It was originally supposed to be a Kinect game, wasn't it?
Yeah. No. Okay, look. There was a Rise Sea of Thieves, which was Rise, but it was about pirates. There was an original Rise game, which was like medieval times with fucking spells and shit. There's been like 4 or 5 iterations of Rise. It wasn't just on the original Xbox. So I mean, that game has been around for a minute.
Damn, that's a lot of process, man.
Yeah, because I played the one I originally played was the first Rise, and then I played Rise Sea of Thieves, which was it was a pirate game where like he was trapped as a fucking pirate trying to do shit.
Rise I liked. I even liked that game. I just think they're both about the same, but when you compare a lot of things, but I liked Rise, and I would like a sequel of both of them. I like to see the Order 2 and Rise. I like both of them. They were just so damn short. They were short.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Dave.
Like, I didn't think they were as bad as everybody put those games out to be. I'm sorry, you got a game like Beyond Two Souls that basically is a movie the whole game, and they're not complaining about games like that, as much as The Order was complained about.
Yeah, but I think that was a different genre, right? I mean, the reason why people complained about The Order is the fact that it was a third-person shooter, and a lot of times you didn't do a lot of shooting in the game.
Well,
Like, you did one cutscene after another.
The Order got a lot of heat because it was the first fucking big exclusive of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first exclusive from anybody, like, from the big three, so that's why I remember that was under a magnifying glass,
It's under, and it's just another case of people, again, this is just the reality of the industry, hyping themselves up, and,
Well, can you agree that this generation has been nothing but bitching, like, non-stop? Like, every year it's been nothing but fucking bitching?
Yeah, it's worse this generation than it has been last generation.
I have people telling me that
every year.
Drive Club is better than Forza 6, and I'm like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And then they say I can't compare. Then they're like, you're not allowed to compare Drive Club to Forza. And I was like, you gotta go.
Dave, are you fucking with a thorny? Is a thorny in your ass somewhere? Because like,
this was my one buddy. I'm not bringing him up because I like him to be here to defend himself. So, but we were arguing about that, and he likes cars. Like, he's into cars, like in real life.
I heard they only have European cars in that game. They don't have, American cars or other.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Drive Club, I have Drive Club, and I like Drive Club, but the biggest problem with Drive Club is it don't have any customization but changing the color of your car. That's it.
I can't support a fucking developer or team that gets immediately shut down and turned into a fucking service.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he's saying that he likes Drive Club better than Forza?
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's just he doesn't know how to express himself properly. What he probably likes more is the art direction.
Oh, no, he'll break it all down for you. I'm just not going to, I just can't speak on what he said. Like, we went on a big debate about this, but he did say you can't compare the two. I don't know. Like,
they're both racing.
Yeah.
They're both in the same genre, aren't they?
He claims that if you were to compare Forza to a game of Sony, it would have to be Gran Turismo, because that's he says Drive Club is not a sim. It's not a sim racing game. It's an arcade game.
It looks like a simulation to me. When I think of arcade games, I think of a lot of the old
Drive
racing
Club
games.
isn't a simulation. Wait, what? I'm fucking confused.
I'm confused too. Isn't that how it was marketed?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's a. I looked it up. I couldn't find what it was. Like, it didn't tell me like it was a sim or an arcade game, because I was having this debate with him that night.
You got realistic cars and you're driving.
Is this David Maddock?
Yeah.
Is this who we're talking about? I knew it. Like, how did I picked that shit out before anyone else here.
I just don't like I want to do this big discussion with Grimpachi tonight about contrarians, but I want to bring it up now, but he's not here, so it's not fun to bring it up when people aren't here. I tried to get David Maddox in here. I tried to get Grimpachi. I guess they're taking the night off. So I don't like really when people aren't here.
I guess someone's tampon is bleeding is what it is.
Yeah. Last thing I got before we go into the Xbox thing, I guess the NPDs came out of December. Is that it? Right? December 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, no surprise.
Are we really still going after this shit?
Huh?
People are still giving a fuck about the NPDs?
I report them. I always cover them. Call of Duty #1, Star Wars #2, which I'm very happy about. That just kicking ass. Because everybody was crying about that game in the season pass. Fallout #3.
And they all bought it too. I bet they all bought it.
Yeah, I love it. I play Star Wars to death. I like it. I enjoy it.
I said they all bought the season pass. They were bitching about it, but they bought it.
They'll buy it. NBA 2K was 5.
Wait. Rewind. Bitching about what?
They bitched about the season pass of Star Wars. That was a huge thing in the community. Yep.
Hold on. What bitched about a goddamn season pass for Star Wars, knowing it's a dice game?
It was supposed to
DICE always does fucking
No,
passes.
yeah, that's what I said. And they said EA, because this was Star Wars, and back in the day in 2005, you got everything, supposedly. So they're supposed to just give you all the DLC for
No, you know what? You know what you do, right? You know what you do. You don't take out your wallet. You don't set the money down on the counter. And you
Who
don't
was
let
the
the
idiot
cashier bring it up.
cocksuckers bitching about this?
You don't buy it.
Who was
I
bitching?
slap a bitch.
Oh man, the Black Bond was
Yeah.
bitching about it. The whole community. I got attacked for my opinion.
Well, I would bitch too if I was a cash register. Yeah. Cashier, you know? Making $3 an hour.
He bitched about it. A lot of that was a huge thing. That was where I got the most hate, was for that Star Wars video I did of supposedly I was all 4 season passes. When I said I wasn't 4 season passes, but
Wow.
it's what it is. It is what it is.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, so Black Bonds never played a fucking Battlefield. Fucking none of these cocksuckers have ever played a Battlefield because you always buy.
He never bought an overpriced GPU. Never. Yeah, it happens. You know.
Someone's getting slapped in the face with a tuna, son.
Hey, how's that GTX 980?
I'm slapping somebody in the face with a tuna.
I wonder how that GTX 980 is working out for him.
Make him purr.
Well,
God damn.
So it was Call of Duty #1, Star Wars Battlefront #2, Fallout 3, Fallout 4 #3, Madden was #4, #5 was NBA 2K, #6 was Grand Theft Auto, still selling. Like, that's crazy. #7 was Rainbow Six, #8 was Minecraft, #9 was Minecraft the Telltale's game, and #10 was FIFA. I can't believe Grand Theft Auto's still just fucking raking in the money.
Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft
Grand Theft
is
Auto's
son.
the shit, man. It's the shit, son.
It's a sandbox game. People love sandbox games, man.
And hardware, PS4 outsold the Xbox One and the Wii U in December.
Yep.
What it is about Grand Theft Auto is Zach just loves when I fucking shove that tank up his ass every time with his car.
Hey, last person shoved a tank up my ass on GTA. I reared-ended him with a Maverick off the radar and completely destroyed him.
That's right, I got tired of your ass fucking picking me up with that damn helo too, bitch.
Oh.
You
I'm the psychopath who would jihad jeep you all the time.
You guys want to rent a room or something?
Did you guys hear that EA Access is doing a free trial? Is that I heard Grimpachi say that last.
Fuck them.
Tuesday. Next
Fuck
Tuesday.
them too.
Okay, and I heard reports, I don't know if it's a rumor or whatever, that it's probably a rumor, EA Access might go to PlayStation, but I don't think so. Didn't they?
No, it's coming to PC. It's coming to PC.
It's coming to PC. PlayStation won't let it on their network because of the fact that they have PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I just picked it up yesterday, I think, or the day before.
Yeah, so you should be in the same way with me, Thanos. Say, fuck them fucking EA Access fuckers, because I just bought that shit.
Now
You know what?
$30 for a year, right? That ain't bad.
It's not terrible. But
Yeah, I mean, you get it. I think it's, 22 games in the vault right now?
Think of that. You're paying that on top of gold, though.
Now,
So
I
that's
have a
$90 a
question.
year.
Does Battlefront look so bad where it's almost unplayable on Xbox One? Because that's what I heard from your buddy.
I'm playing that shit right now.
Access, and it's so bad. He says,
Oh my god. You know what? Tell him to, fix his grandpa glasses, and then maybe we'll be able to see that shit right.
Yeah, he says it's almost game breaking because he can't tell if it's a tree or a tank.
Look.
Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Pony is gonna say that shit. All right, he's a pony. We all know it. Brony's.
Who's saying it though?
Brony.
That David guy. I think.
David Maddock.
And he goes by Silver Sky. And you got he's trying to. He says just call him that. But I don't want to bring all this up and he's not here. You know.
Oh well, invite him in here.
I don't know. I have his phone number. And I texted him. He's probably busy. But
he's the guy that carries the list everywhere, right?
Yeah, he's the
It's
list
like
guy.
a missing person and shit, just putting that shit in post.
He probably kisses it every night. He probably kisses it every night before he
I'm
goes to
sorry.
sleep.
I love I enjoy my Microsoft console. I appreciate it, but I ain't fucking carrying a list in my goddamn back pocket. I ain't doing it, son.
Have you seen the list? Have you seen the list? Have you seen the list?
He posted that shit up like so many times now.
Yeah.
yeah, he says when he brought up the list, you guys just said it was too much to read. That was your defense.
It wasn't too much to read. It's just I didn't give a fuck about a goddamn list.
How
I'm not one of these
Well,
YouTubers
How
out here
many of
that are
those games are going to
looking
be
at lists.
relevant? How many of those games are going to be relevant? How many of those
Well,
games are going to
29 of them actually, when I checked the list, 29 of them are actually not guaranteed to come over to the U.S. So they're gonna bring a fucking list with games that aren't even coming to the U.S.
It's
He's
just
not going
silly
to buy
bragging.
all the. Yeah, it's just bragging rights. He's not going to buy all those games.
Well, I mean, I will have to say this. I looked at, like I've seen tons of videos now of people. There is a lot of good games Sony does have coming. I don't know if they're all coming out this year, just like Xbox. I don't know if,
Well,
right now, like Scalebound, I thought that was coming out this year. That got delayed, So it's going to be a lot of delays. I'll tell you that on both sides.
Yeah, I think so too.
The Division will get delayed again. And when it
It's
comes,
just,
No,
I think on Microsoft they can't really afford it as much as Sony can.
Here's the thing. There's no way in hell Division gets delayed again. Because if Division gets delayed again, that game is vaporware to me. I don't give a fuck.
Why do you think they're delaying it so much? What's the issue? Like,
Well, Division went
they
through.
bit off
Division
more than
went
they could
through
chew.
like 2 iterations almost now. It was usually supposed to be Tom Clancy Patriots or whatever, and then they switched over to the Division. So I mean, it went through 2 different developers also.
And how does Far Cry Primal just get coming out so fast over these games? And Far Cry Primal was announced after the game.
A long time ago, about a year and a half ago, when they first showed the Division. I forgot what article it was. I think it's Game Informer. They had a little private conversation or a Q&A on the magazine. And even one of the head honcho developer at the Division was saying that there's no way, we're nowhere near close to finishing this game. You're not going to see this game at by the end of 2015. There's no way. So I think they're delaying it because the game's not finished. And if that's the case, even if it comes out, when is supposed? What's the release date of the Division?
March, if I'm not mistaken.
March. That's less than 24 months of development time. That shit is gonna have problems.
Well, we'll go by this beta, the 28th.
I don't know because not EA, but ESPN and Esports is picking that up also as one of their league games this year.
Oh yes, that's through negotiation and contract. That's where EA does that shit good. They can sell you a contract with the quickness.
But that's the thing though. I mean, if they're gonna do that, they have to fucking make sure that the game runs good. That was the reason why fucking Esports dropped fucking Battlefield 4 off their contract, is because the game was shitty at launch. So I mean, Ubisoft isn't gonna want that again because that's gonna be another Unity.
Yeah, basically, and so it's the pressure is on. I think these guys are delaying it as much as they can because they're trying to squeeze every single little thing that they can to get right.
Well, the pressure's on definitely because this ain't just another Assassin's Creed. This is a new one, and it's an online multiplayer. So
especially with being only online, that really, and that's the same thing with Crackdown. Like people were bitching about Crackdown beta, but that game's primarily is going to be only online. I mean, no one's going to really want to play that fucking story.
You think they bit off?
But how can somebody say that about Crackdown? Nobody wants to play a story. That's what I remember Crackdown for. Was its story?
Here's the thing. I played Crackdown 1 and 2. And I'm going to tell you right now, I never played that game alone. I either played that with one of my buddies on Xbox Live. So to me, that was the only online game.
The first one was a co-op game?
Yes, it was co-op. You could play co-op mode. Same with the second one.
No, part one was more like Dave's right. Part 1 was more like story driven.
Yeah,
it was story driven, but you could play with people online.
Yeah, you could, but it was limited.
It wasn't a multiplayer like
it wasn't a multiplayer,
co-op, but not a multiplayer blow each other up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
part
it
two was
still
more
had that. It still had that multiplayer aspect of you can play with each other on co-op, because that's
Yeah.
what me and Matt used to do. We used to love running around, fucking ramping the cars and shit, and having races with it back in the day. So to me, that game, I don't really consider that game a main, like, oh, I'm only focused on the story. Because in all honesty, do you even remember the story of Crackdown?
I remember
No.
getting in my police car and going and fighting criminals. Like it seemed like it was like you were like a superhero cop that
Yeah,
basically.
you was a genetically altered cop to go fight crime, and you had to take down 6 different crime lord
And
gangs.
not every single player game needs a story like this blown up story like everybody says. That was just a fun game to play. I
Oh
like
yeah.
you know. But I just don't see it. I hopefully can see it as a multiplayer, but like I never played Crackdown 2.
Look, if it works about half of what they're saying it's gonna work, it's gonna change a lot of fucking shit in gaming. Like I've said this on ARBcast, if this comes out and it works half the way it is, I can't wait to see this being used for EA for like Battlefield, where like the entire fucking Battlefield is actually destructible.
What happens if it fails though? Like, will this
It's
even?
gonna ruin Microsoft. I believe it will ruin Microsoft. It'll make them the laughing stocks of gaming. Because this will be their third iteration of them coming out with something that fails.
Oh, yeah, that's what so it's
Because
a good.
you got the Connect that failed on them. You know, they hyped up for a while, and we haven't heard anything from it from the HoloLens, and like that's been fucking vaporware now. So I mean,
Well,
and
they talked about it E3, and that's
they
still
talked about it
probably
at
in
E3, and then
development.
they announced that it's not going to be for gaming. They hyped it up at first as it's going to be for a gaming console. It's going to be a peripheral for the console, and now it went from being a peripheral for the console to being it's going to be mainly for business.
Probably because they know that VR probably won't end up
It's
being a
not
good
VR though;
gaming
it's AR.
platform.
There's a difference.
I know there's a difference, but I think they think that these head-mounted devices probably won't be a gaming-focused platform.
I don't know. I would disagree with that because Oculus Rift went out and they did their sales and they're already sold out on their Rifts.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like everybody completely doubting VR. I have to say I'm half and half with it. It could be a great success, or it could be a.
We're gonna have to see what they have.
Hey, hold on. Didn't Microsoft do well in the first 30 days of sales?
For what?
The Xbox One?
Yeah, they did well.
Well, yeah, because that's because the audience who are there, the early adapters are going to get it, but it's going to happen. What's going to happen? The same shit that happened with Nintendo. Their sales are going to go up, and then they're going to fucking flatline. And it's gonna stay like that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if Crackdown fails, they're going to be a laughing stock because I mean they have a lot riding. They have Cloud Engine, they have DirectX 12, which we haven't heard anything from, and the only game that's actually fully released for DirectX 12 is Fable Legends. So far that we have seen, and then you got they already failed with the Kinect for this generation already. So if fucking Cloud fails, then everybody's gonna look at when DirectX 12 comes out and they're gonna see a brown eye on that. So that shit has to succeed. And if it does succeed and it does work really well, it's gonna change fucking gaming. Because I can't wait to be able to use that in a whole bunch of other games. So, I mean, it's only a wait and see. So, I think that's the reason why they made it only multiplayer for it and released that before they released a single player.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, if we're gonna have more and more games, let's just say hypothetically, right, that Crackdown becomes pretty successful, and the technology actually works, and the games look far better with that type of technology. If more games adapt to that technology, then that means sooner or later, when those servers go down, that disc you're holding in your hand is useless.
Yeah, but we're going already mainly online. I think there was a report last year that I can't remember if it was Steam or somebody did 80% of fucking users, even in console users, are online. So I mean, always online. So what's the difference?
This whole like offline experience, that's long gone.
Yeah, that's been gone for like 5 years now.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying for a couple of years now. That video games is going to be something you play and experience. You no longer collect. It's not something worth collecting anymore.
No, it won't. All these people wanting to hold on to their games, that's not going on. It's going to last a little bit longer. I think you'll have a physical copy, but it'll be very slim to none like PC is now. It's all going in the direction of the PC, like what they did. Now you need a hard drive for your fucking Xbox and PlayStation. It's the digital.
Yeah, the network.
Yeah.
That's one thing that both Microsoft and Sony got correct, and they got it
what
fucking
was it
spot
said
on.
that
What?
I don't
Armor, you okay? He just dropped dead, son.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, what was it last year that it was reported that increase of
an increase?
Huh?
Let's say ain't me.
Armor, you okay? You fell?
I think he's falling and he can't get up. Get down.
Armor, plug in your modem. Plug it in.
Well, he'll
having
come
mic issues.
back. But yeah, it could go either way with this whole thing with the crackdown. I hope it succeeds. I really do want to see Microsoft have something going right.
Hopefully.
Now let's get into the whole thing. Well, when Armored comes back, if he wants to say what he was going to say, but we're going to get into the whole thing about Snoop Dogg and the Xbox Live and, just Xbox Live in general. So Snoop Dogg, I guess on Instagram, I believe, basically came out fucking tore apart Xbox, said, Bill Gates, fix your shit. And he said he's going to switch to PlayStation if the shit keeps up. Basically what he said. Not word for word, but Bill Gates, fix your shit was, the exact words he said on that. But I forgot exactly what he said. I know he said he's going to get a PlayStation and if it keeps up and all that. Now, do you guys think Snoop Dogg just did that for? So I on my stream last night, I was told he did that for money.
Well, not to like discredit anybody or insult anyone's intelligence, because I just that's the way I speak and think. But the fucking power, right, of a celebrity. For one, I don't give a fuck what he says. I'm not a sheep, so it could be Elvis Presley or the President of the United States. Their opinion means nothing to me. Never have and never will be. But Snoop Dogg talks and the crowd goes fucking crazy. You know what I say? Let the sheep be sheep. Let them follow. Fuck them.
Well, I would be agreeing with you on this if I wasn't having so many problems with my Xbox Live right now, because I thought it was only me and Ozzy, But I was actually shocked when I saw. I wasn't shocked when I saw Snoop Dogg. I was like, oh, maybe it's not only me, because I can't fucking stream. I can't connect to online matches half the time. With friends, there's a lot of things going on with the thing. It ain't just one issue. Now, if if their network goes down, Sony does that too. It's no big issue. But when it's up and running, I want to play my games and not be kicked out. Like, we played Halo 3, Master Chief Collection. We were on Chapter 7. Went all the way to the end of the game from there. It kicked me out of the fucking cutscene and started me back on Chapter 7. The last time I had something happen like that was fucking Battlefield 4. Where it erased my campaign. And that's fucking terrible. I hate doing that. We tried the game and it did the same fucking thing.
Yeah. That pisses us off.
Tell them about Gears of War, Ozzy.
Well, Gears of War 2 and 3, I was disconnected 30 times. It was annoying as hell.
Yeah, altogether, it was about 30 times with each game. Like, he would keep... I was like, okay, maybe they're on peer-to-peer, the servers they're using for the old, for like Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3 ain't that good. But then I go on my PlayStation and I'm fucking streaming. Oh, and then on my streams on Xbox, I have to drop the quality where it still fucking lags. Still lags. I got videos up. I'm not just speaking out my... So there is proof in the pudding, But,
yeah, because I saw a video I'm sorry, Dave. I saw a video real quick of King Grinpachi talking about life was down, and did I take his word for it? Absolutely not. I don't take nobody's word. Fuck that shit, son. So I went on Xbox Live or another website where it shows you all these servers. These servers are they're up or down, and it said live, which is limited. it was still up. I didn't have any problems. I was still going through some shit.
And that's what I'm trying to fucking educate people on. There's a difference between when it's down, like the PlayStation did last week, where it was down for 10 hours, and you couldn't get on PlayStation
Why was
or
it down
PS4.
for 10 hours? Because I want to know that.
It was last week. It was down, and even fucking you could go back and you could watch like the Weapon Wheel podcast, and a few other people all reported it.
Maybe I was
that
playing
it was
my
down.
Xbox was maybe because I was playing my Xbox.
It was down for 10 hours straight for one whole Sunday. It was down. And everybody did a report on it in the Weapon Wheel team, because I was watching their podcast and everybody was bitching about it on there also.
Okay,
Like,
so
like maintenance though?
when I say now, there's a difference from what I'm talking about and the service being just down. I'm talking when it's running, it runs like shit.
Well, yeah, but from what I read from Xbox Wire and Major Nelson's feed from yesterday, is what they were doing was they were doing server maintenance on the thing, so they were cutting off certain sections of the application and doing maintenance on that, and then going and cut it off the other server sections. So, yeah, it's going to limit your service.
Yeah.
But does it mean that, you should go out and you should vet out a report and say Xbox Live is down, Xbox Live is down? No, because then you're just giving false information. It's not 100% down. It's just limited to the terms of service.
Well, what was it? Now, why was Snoop Dogg upset? Because he couldn't play online?
No, he was. He never actually gave a full reason why he was upset. He just said that he couldn't play his games.
He said he couldn't play his online games with people. So that would tell me that he had online issues where he.
Okay. Grant, again, I wasn't home when this happened, so I wouldn't know based off of my personal experiences. But I know from what I read. Now, do I give a fuck about why Snoop Dogg couldn't play his Xbox Live games? Hell no. In all honesty.
We're not saying if anybody should care.
But here's the thing. And this is why I'm kind of irritated with a lot of people on YouTube right now, because everybody's going off of what this one man did a fucking Instagram.
I'm going off with my experiences with Xbox, and I put this video up.
But you just iterated that whole thing. Like, you just brung that up in the argument, so you wanted to bring that up to actually say something about that.
No. I already complained about this, and then I did a video about it saying I'm not the only one having these issues. Like, there's other people having issues with Xbox.
Oh shit, Kenosha, get the popcorn, son.
Get the popcorn, son.
I'm ready. And the funny thing is, I got videos where I reported when I had PlayStation problems.
Yes.
Called a fucking Xbox hater.
Here's where I agree with you. Both services suck ass this generation. Xbox is known for having the better service.
I think Sony, more of the times, now one thing with Sony, I don't have issues connecting to people. And the funny thing is, when I was playing, having all these issues with my Xbox, why can I get on my PlayStation and stream in full quality? Like, why can I do that? And I can't do it with Xbox.
Yeah. Because the Xbox hardware, and this comes back to the hardware, this doesn't come back to their terms of service. Their hardware is just lacking compared to what the PlayStation has. Like, you're just going to have to either get used to that or just go buy a capture card. That's another thing. Like, you hear people bitching about it, and just understand, you're playing with a more inferior hardware over what the PlayStation has. Stop bitching about it. Get a capture card.
We're supposed to accept a service that don't work? That's a
No, I'm not saying accept the service that don't work. I'm saying that you hear people bitching, oh, well, the stream's not going at 1080p, or I can't get 60 frames a second, this or that.
Why can't it even run on lowest quality without lagging out and flashing the
Well, I'm gonna be honest to you about that, Dave. Most people that do streaming, that actually are invested into streaming, usually use a capture card, or they use a really good NPC for that. So you don't hear really mainstream streamers bitch about that problem.
Well,
I've never once heard fucking Halo Follower or fucking Ready Up Live. I can name 50 fucking streamers that I can talk of that would never bitch about that, and they stream on Xbox.
Well, let's fix something. I'm not a big streamer, so I'm not going to run out and buy all this shit until I do get big. This is just the start. But I shouldn't be able to have to go out.
But then you're getting what you invest into. If you're investing into what Microsoft has, you're locked into that. You can't bitch about it then.
Oh, I can't bitch about it. So why do they even offer that shit? Why do they have shit that don't work?
They offer that shit to get people enticed into it. They offer that because PlayStation offered it.
So
they had to fucking go with their
service is going to entice me to do something.
Well, yet again, that right there is like, let's put it this way. That's like your fucking entry fee into doing streaming. And then once you do that, they're going to, people are going to be like, okay, this is pretty cool. Let me go get the actual proper gear for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're using entry-level fucking hardware to do that. Regardless, like I said, you can't really bitch because the Xboxes, everybody knows this is a common fact, that the Xbox console is limited off of hardware than what the PlayStation has. PlayStation has a better fucking GPU already, better graphics card or whatever the fuck they have over there that runs that shit. Yeah. So
okay,
I mean,
so what's the issue? Okay, since you got this is also that's basically just a starter kit. That's what we're saying here.
Yeah, I say it's a starter kit, man, because I'm looking into doing streaming myself, and I've talked to several of the guys from Geek Essentials about it, and I've looked up on everything, and every fucking site that I've looked up on.
Oh God, and I will sit here and say this. I'm friends with TechRev and Shane.
No, I'm just saying everything that I've listened to.
High quality videos and ran out. And I had to go get a fucking 1080p camera, so somebody.
Wait! They were the ones.
Like, come on.
They were the ones.
Dave cracks me up. So.
Come on. Let's
hold on.
I love TechRev and I love Shane.
Hold on, Dave.
But
they were the ones bitching about the 1080.
They're on a whole other planet on certain things. They are. When it comes to like a lot of different things, they have a whole different belief.
No, but that's the misconception that you're at, Dave. That's what a lot of people, because I went in, and not only them, but I went and looked up a lot of other streamers, like my boy fucking Jester, which is streaming too. Other boy One Arm Bandit, which is streams, and they all say the same thing. Like, if you're going to want to get into streaming, you're going to have to invest into it. That means you're going to have to buy some of that better gear. If you're just stuck with what you have on the consoles, then you're just fucking limited, so you're going to be bitching about the crappy-ass service they're giving you.
But I think Dave's his essential argument is that it's being done better on the PS4. And then I know what you're saying, Armor. It's like, it's because the hardware capabilities, but like, but that's maybe
the hardware capabilities are lacking, so you can't really bitch about that.
Maybe that's just
why
probably.
Then why don't they just fucking get rid of it if they can't do it?
Because you don't want to ever do something that your competitor's not doing.
Yeah.
If they get HBO, we got to get HBO. It's just the way it's work.
And I will say this. This has not always been the issue with Xbox. I was able to do it before this fucking update. That's my main problem. I think this update's the fucking issue.
Yeah, and
that's what I said in my video. I never said that Xbox. I want to know why. I wanted to put in the title of this video, but I can't add everything lately. I wanted to put lately. This has been going on. This has been a big issue lately.
So was it flawlessly, like working flawlessly before?
PlayStation has always been better with streaming, but Xbox has not been this bad. Like, this is at its worst. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I can't even connect with certain people in matches. And then I just brought up the streaming thing because that shit dropped too. It was working. I used to be able to do high quality, the highest quality it could, and it may lag every once in a while, just in the beginning. Now, God knows what's going to happen. The camera's going to flash, or I'm going to have to drop down the quality to nothing. Well, I start the quality to nothing, but it's going to be lagging on that real bad. It's this Windows 10 update. I'm telling you. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, this whole Windows 10 thing is fucked up. Like, it's bad. I would say I'm not a tech person. Like, don't take my word for that. But if I had to put money on something, I would say it's been the Windows 10 update. So
you're just saying essentially that you're having like a really bad experience ever since the update?
Yeah, but I had the update longer than you guys. I don't know if you guys had the preview program, but I've been experiencing this for a longer period of time. Like, they should have had this shit fixed. Like, they should have known this shit was going on while the people with the preview program, because I write my feedback,
Right.
But they shouldn't have done this update if that was the case. Like, right now, they got to get it out fast so they have some new press saying, "Oh, we got Windows 10 update coming." They got to get good press, but really all they're making is more bad press. And I talk to a lot of people who have issues. It ain't just Snoop Dogg. I'm not just talking to Snoop Dogg. There's other people I've talked to that have the same issues.
Sean Penn. I spoke to Sean Penn. He's pretty.
George Clooney. He says he got
George Clooney.
He's happy.
Al
Well,
Pacino.
I think the whole
right now is Ozzy. Ozzy's one, and Ozzy can back up everything.
Dave,
I think the whole living.
I can.
And people gotta
hold on, Dave. Let me ask you a
people
question.
gotta stop taking it as a fucking attack all the time. I'm a neutral gamer. I game on both these consoles. I have tons of videos talking great about the Xbox, and now that I start with this, also
Nobody's. The thing is, here
Dave,
on this.
let me ask you this, Dave. Hold on. Are you a part of fucking early access?
yes, I'm the
Yeah.
preview program.
You're the preview program. That's your problem.
It's the preview. No, it's not. Then why?
I guarantee.
Why
Dave.
is Ozzy having that issue? Ozzy, are you the preview program?
No.
Thank you.
But
I
he's
was
from
about to say,
Australia, right?
He's from Australia. He would be completely
Oh,
different
why?
too.
Okay, why can he connect with me on fucking PlayStation if he's from Australia? Does it PlayStation have a? Why is that? Why is it working for him on PlayStation? Why can we get into all kinds
Dude,
of?
all right, listen
Yeah,
here, Dave.
Homer.
And
Answer the
hold on,
question,
hold on,
Homer.
hold on.
Answer the fucking question!
You're on the fucking trial. Answer the question.
I'm on the trial, son. I'm doing this. Okay, I'm gonna go off of my experiences just with Battlefield, and this is from me playing with people from like Australia and UK.
And
They
dude,
fucking
doesn't Battlefield have their own server?
They have their own dedicated servers, but yet when you try to play with people from the UK and Australia, you go play on a UK or Australia server, your ping goes drastically up because you're on that fucking server listing. It sucks playing with people overseas. And this is me going off of just what I know from Battlefield. So I'm having a feeling that it's probably the same thing with them also. Because I hate playing with people from the UK because their ping gets higher on Battlefield. And when their ping gets higher, it makes the fucking game lag.
So with PlayStation, why is he able to connect? Is it just another case PlayStation's better hardware, better servers?
It could be a multiple of things, man. He could have a lower ping at that time. It could also be the fact that, when you play with him, y'all's connections seem up a lot better. Like, you have to understand, like, with the connections, too, it's not just what the hardware is giving, it's what your internet provider is giving you, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
60 megs. That's what I got. 60 megs.
Oh, that's
because
more than enough.
I've seen that before. Like, I've seen that enough time, and this is just me going off of my Battlefield experiences. When I play on UK servers, their ping is so fucking high that it's unbearable to fucking play on their servers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be that, too.
Well, see that now the thing too, like I said, I speak for both consoles. There's times where I'm all for Xbox and I get hell for it. People.
I'm not giving you hell, Dave. I'm giving hell.
For example, when we had all you guys at the last podcast, I was running a fucking Xbox podcast now.
Yeah, I see that shit.
Well, you also have to factor in various other variables when it comes to online communication, because you also have to figure in weather, the amplifiers they might be using,
code,
and the way the wire is laid, because the way the wire is laid is very important too.
It's besides that point. Can I? This is my question. This is my.
In my video, both services are. If I go back to the PS3 and Xbox 360, they were better services.
Yeah.
Consoles.
Oh, I agree with you. The services suck ass compared to their predecessors. But back with the Twitch thing, Xbox came out with that a year after, if I'm not mistaken, from PlayStation. PlayStation was the first one to have the Twitch capabilities.
Oh,
so,
well, see, I just got my Xbox in the summer, and the thing is, before this Windows 10 thing, it was at least running. Like, I could get the stream going without so much lag. It wasn't bad. Now it's like.
Have you looked on their forum page, man, and looked at people that complain about this preview program? Have you ever been?
I usually hit up tech support on the Xbox and ask them.
Okay, because I've been on that forum page and I haven't signed into the preview program because of that. Because I look on there and there's so many fucking bugs and problems with the shit and people bitching about every little fucking thing with it. And granted, you're in a preview program. You're gonna have a lot of fucking errors with your shit. So I mean, that could be a factor. You have to also take that into account. Like, every little thing could be a check that could fuck your system up.
Oh yeah. Well, but like I said, Ozzy's not a part of the preview program, so I don't know. But he is in Australia. I mean, it's just something that you've talked about. I mean, nobody's ever going to agree on certain things when it comes to the console. This is all console talk, like this one and that one. I mean, you're never gonna get
Well,
to.
see, my thing wasn't the fact that people were bitching that the service is down, but when I'm thinking like when I'm looking at an article and someone tells me the service is down, and then I find out that it wasn't down, it was just limited. I'm like, well, why couldn't you just say it's limited? Service has been limited due to yada yada yada. Like according to what I read, a lot of it was like you couldn't get into party chats, Chivas wouldn't show up, fucking the online connection was very limited to certain shit. Some of the games wouldn't connect right. Shit like that. That's not down. Like
Well,
when
hold
I'm
on.
thinking down, I'm thinking like what happened with PlayStation.
Well, you gotta look
Like,
at who's doing the video. Like if they're
Yeah.
if they hate
Yeah.
Sony or hate Microsoft, of course they're gonna say it's fucking down instead of the real truth of what's going on. Like for example with Sony, before I got the Xbox, I played my PlayStation the most. Like I was playing it. Now I play both of them. This week it's been more the PlayStation with the thing that's going on with the Xbox. But last week it was more the Xbox. But with PlayStation, I know from day one that service has not been down as much as they said. I know that for a fact. There was days I was gaming where they said it was down, and I'm on there fucking live streaming. It's like you can't take a fanboy's word. Like RXL has a ton of videos on his channel that Xbox Live is down. Xbox Live is down. He did a whole series of that.
And I looked at some of the shit with RXL, and some of his was even services was limited. It wasn't they were down.
Yeah, he does. It's as if they like Sony or like Microsoft. It's just how it is. But I will admit, I have had issues with the Xbox. I'm not just saying it for my health.
Well, yeah, and everybody's had issues with both systems. I agree with you with that.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the real question. Can anyone here explain to me why the fuck people still think Bill Gates is running Microsoft?
Yeah, well, like I said,
I was about to get into that, son. I was about to get into that.
Hold on. My answer to this, and I'll let you guys talk as much as you want. I think it's because an actual person that just games don't know companies like we do on YouTube. Like we don't have the Nintendo school and Sony school and Microsoft where we know Ubisoft and all them. They just think because of Microsoft, it's Bill Gates. That's why.
Okay, the last time PlayStation was down was for 10 hours was January 5th. Is when it went down. It went down for 10 hours straight.
Which is what, 40 days ago?
No, January 5th, 2016 was the last time it went down.
How do these companies not get their security straight? Like, how is it that they come off of these old systems and not have it all figured out by now?
Well, if you're looking at it from, because like I said, it's all about our narrow perspective on things, right? But if you look at Xbox Live and you look at PSN and what they're offering on their servers, it's fucking insane, dude. You look at Netflix. What is Netflix offering? Movies. What else? That's it.
Yeah.
Go look at PlayStation and PSN. Look at the shit that they're offering. Streaming, live, fucking movies, downloads.
You gotta understand, they gotta do maintenance. Like people don't get that. Like they have to do maintenance. And the way Microsoft used to do their maintenance back in the 360 days is during like the off hours, like anywhere between 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. They used to shut certain servers down and then like do maintenance on them servers, and they would upload onto the other servers, and that was when there was low traffic times.
Well,
but now because traffic time is so high and everything that's going on, it's harder to do their maintenance and shit. And if I'm not mistaken, they had to decrease a lot of their servers farms because of the fact that the Xbox One wasn't selling as well.
Security is a 24/7 job. Like you have to have a security team there around the clock because there's always somebody trying to break in.
Yeah, and it's probably the same way with PlayStation too with that.
Yeah, and as soon as you update your security system, 30 seconds later it's already outdated. So I'm just surprised that half these services work the way they do on Xbox Live and PSN. I'm surprised at that. I mean, you're talking about people streaming movies. There's Twitch on there. There's people downloading and uploading and doing live, and then you got your video clips. People saying record that, and it's just a ton. It's a lot of weight on those servers.
Which is probably why Nintendo, not making excuses for Nintendo, but it's probably why Nintendo's servers or system isn't as robust as Microsoft's and Sony's, because Microsoft and Sony have a lot more resources they can pull from, and that's why Nintendo is Probably, you know.
Well, it's not just the resources, man. But I mean, gaming is one of the biggest media outlets out there now.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody's gaming now. You know,
Yeah.
so like the services are going to constantly be stressed out and being used to the T.
Like
So
last night with Plants vs Zombies, it took forever to download it because everybody's downloading the damn thing.
yeah,
I got it quick. I got it like in 20 minutes.
Yeah, not me. It took
yeah,
like
that took
3
shit.
hours.
That took.
But
took
you know,
forever, too.
somebody said in the chat and earlier, I can't remember who it was. Actually, I do. I just don't like you, so I'm not gonna say your name. But you were saying something about PCs don't have this problem. Actually,
Was
yeah,
it
they
after,
do.
like Battlefront?
No, I'm talking about like
Steam had a problem.
yeah, on Christmas Day,
Yeah.
I couldn't download shit on Steam. The server, I mean, literally, as soon as you launch Steam, they said we're having difficulty. It was overloaded. Like we couldn't download anything because my wife bought me games, I bought her games, and it was just we couldn't do anything.
Yeah, they had a caching problem because people would log into Steam and see other people's stuff.
Yeah, it was until like 2 days later. Then because even then, prior to the 2 days, you would launch Steam, but part of it would work and the rest of it wouldn't. So it was like that for 2 or 3 days actually. So well, they all have their problems, man.
And here's the thing that I want to also bring up about this Snoop Dogg shit. Y'all do remember that he was a part of PlayStation All Stars, right?
I see him in pictures going like this with the Xbox.
Yeah, but do you not remember that he was part of PlayStation All Stars last year, and they're supposed to bring that up again this year? He was part of the team.
They're bringing back PlayStation.
Do you not think
All-Stars?
that he did? Do you not think that he had to sign like a fucking MDA or whatever, where he couldn't ever talk shit about the PlayStation?
I'm sure he just didn't do that video just to do it. I think he had issues.
I think, yeah, and I agree with you. I'm sure he did do that video because he had issues, but I'm just saying that he probably also can't say shit about the PlayStation either because he's either got a contract or something going on with them because he was a part of PlayStation All-Stars. Because remember when Microsoft got caught with the fucking what was it?
That program?
The Machinima. How people were sponsored with Microsoft with Machinima and they couldn't say anything about Machinima at all. It's going to be the same thing even with Snoop Dogg. Because he is a big enough influence where if he says something, people are going to fucking jump on it. So they probably did have that in his contract when he did that PlayStation All-Star shit.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a possibility.
Yeah, well, people got to look at that, man. You got to look at every little fucking possibility out there on these shits.
Well, like, what about the Breaking Benjamin star that cracked Battlefront in his Facebook or whatever?
I don't understand people living vicariously through a lot of these musicians and stuff. That's always been kind of. Actually, the older I get,
I've had this saying from day one: people are fucking sheep, and the masses is always going to go after what the most popular person is going to want.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of people that like Xbox, man. There's some people that they game on Xbox.
Oh, my girl fucking loves PlayStation. I mean, when it goes down, she doesn't give a fuck. She just goes over and plays on the computer or something. And she waits for it to come up. She never once bitches about the shit, unless when it comes into her with Destiny.
See, this whole Xbox bullshit got me into Bloodborne now, where I'm fucking all into Bloodborne. So hopefully by the end of that, because I didn't see the big fascination with Bloodborne like everybody did until Bear Hug. I have to give it to Bear Hugger. He taught me the game, and now I understand it. I didn't really understand fucking Bloodborne. I just thought it was just a game that they made hard just to be fucking hard, But it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, like one of the things I wanted to bring up was why is it that as gamers you feel the fucking need to buy every single new title that comes out?
Why do you have to buy it at launch? I mean, they go down in price in like 6 months. And you don't have to get it right away.
It's an addiction. It could be like my case. I used to like to buy a lot of drugs.
Oh man, I'm getting some hate, yo. Hey, y'all can hate on me all y'all want, son. I enjoy it.
No,
I got the anal gravy for y'all too later.
Gaming. Every time I buy, the chemicals go off of my head. The serotonin. I get all high like when I buy video games. Like,
some people just buy video games and then they'll play for like on their channel and then trade it in because they can't afford to keep buying video games.
Or
Video
they
games are
bash the
expensive.
game, or they bash the game not to buy it, so they don't
Yeah.
have to buy it.
Or they buy it just to bash it.
Mm-hmm.
They
It
buy it
works
and
both
bash it.
ways. What is Armor getting a lot of hate in the chat?
Oh yeah, man, I'm being called a bot now because I'm fucking defending Xbox. It's
Well, that's
typical
what I'm
you
saying.
It's the typical YouTube bullshit. It doesn't really bother me. I just say, like I said, y'all want to hate, that's fine, man. I'll give y'all jars of anal gravy and honey buns.
And then Dave's a fucking pony then, son. He's a pony, son. Pony channel.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, you know what? I'm all down for joining the corporate slave awards, man. Maybe I could take Titanfall Princess's fucking spot and that shit. They can call me the real tranny,
Hi
aka
there,
tranny.
Armor. Hi.
Hey, do you guys believe it's a voice changer, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's his Xbox Live shitty service. I think that's what it is. That's
Yeah,
what-
still talking about Titanfall Princess, or is she yesterday's news?
No, she's still relevant. Go to her channel. You'll see people hating in the comments.
She's cool peeps, man. The only reason why she's getting this hate is it's because of Zaire. You know, that's all it is. It's because of Zaire. And I'm gonna tell all you haters out there, you fucking Zaire fucking haters. Without Zaire, the Crumb side would be fucking completely boring. It would be that simple. The only reason she's getting this much attention is because of Zaire. That's it.
Well, you've got a point.
Yeah, if she wasn't associated with him, no one would give a shit about her. You know, that's to show you the power of next gen on this fucking community, son. That's
no
crazy.
one even knew who she was until fucking the next gen crew hit her up.
What about this whole like the corporate slave awards? What's that guy Iron Wolf?
I'm trying to save up onto that shit, son.
Who?
Why is Iron Wolf popular? Like I can't stand that guy.
Because he didn't fucking go against fucking Black Bond. That's all it was.
Okay.
He didn't fight Black Bond in the Street Fighter fight, so that's the reason why he got the corporate slave awards.
Iron Wolf, and he might win the corporate slave awards over Crap Gamer.
Nah, man, I'm the new runner-up, son. I'm the new runner-up.
It's the same people over and over and over again. You know, so.
Well, that's what I don't like about it. Like, I voted for Bear Hugger and Titanfall Princess. Try to get them in there, and they didn't get in.
No, Titanfall Princess did get in there. She was the only new one.
She didn't advance. Like, I was wanting her to get up the ladder. Like, it's always the same people every year who wins. Like, you can count on it.
That's because Black Bond has the final vote.
Yeah, Black.
You know who's voting? You know who's voting? The people who say, let's not do drama. Those are the people who are voting.
Let's not do drama.
Let's not do drama. Let's vote, though. Let's vote.
Have you ever noticed, though, that whole little corporate slave award, it's always Xbox guys on it?
Yeah. Yeah, but they have a vendetta against each other. You don't like next gen.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no.
It's just fucking rigged from the start.
It has not always been Microsoft, guys. It was Nintendo. Nintendo guys, Furious Francis, Dr. Trey, they used to all be on that. Nintendo's irrelevant. That's why Microsoft took over the corporate slave.
Well, Pyro's on there.
Yeah, he's one of the few, but I'm saying it used to be Mr. T, Furious Francis, Dr. Trey, KFD. Go look at the corporate slave awards a few years back. You'll see who was on there.
Yeah, but the shit is like those guys are not like as
well, because the Nintendo is fucking dead. It's not nothing to talk about. I could have showed you a million videos Black Bond had of Mr. T up on his channel and Furious Francis and debates they did. But now Nintendo. See, Black Bond used to be all against Nintendo. He is now I guess a Microsoft hate channel now. Would you say that or?
No, he's just following Zaire. Wherever Zaire goes, he goes.
But it used to be
Zaire was a part of Nintendo.
Dr. Trey used to be his arch enemy. Now it's Zaire.
Yeah, he got bored with Dr. Trey, and I guess he's going after Zaire now.
Yeah, well, he's relevant now. Dr. Trey is.
Shokio used to be a big thing too. Like they used to go back and forth with certain things. But the Nintendo community, when I first came to this community, it was all Nintendo. It wasn't Sony. It wasn't Microsoft. It was a Nintendo community. And then they fucking flopped. you know, the Wii U really hurt the YouTube community when the Wii U died. Like, now it's all Microsoft, because there's nobody Sony really that's interesting to hate on, you know.
Well, shit, Dave, didn't Nintendo own like 80 or 85% of the gaming market at one time?
I would think. I mean, Nintendo was a big thing, like, before this whole
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the 3DS is
Come on, Dave, let's drop your head into the slate, son.
Like the Xbox One, like the PS4. What's fun to hate on that? It's winning. I mean, I know people don't like PlayStation, but it's winning. It's not something funny to hate on. Something like Wii U was relevant for a little while when it was still there, and it was fun to kick it while it's down. But now it's completely down.
Well, to be honest with you, Dave, the PlayStation brand, the name PlayStation, has always been winning. It's just only when it came to the PS3, they kind of like slipped up a little bit. But the PlayStation brand, I keep saying this over and over again.
I can agree with you on that.
It's a fucking beast. You know,
The
Microsoft.
the brand definitely is good.
Yeah, with the Xbox, that's just a competitor that's been playing catch up this whole time. You know, and with the 360, you know, they did a hell of a job. You know, they were a threat to Sony and the PlayStation brand, but with the X1, they lost it again. You know, so hopefully by next gen, you know,
Well, you gotta remember when the Xbox One for the original Xbox came out, it did terrible. Its first
Yeah.
years.
And I like the original Xbox over the PlayStation 2. It had online. The PlayStation 2 had that, but not as good as Xbox.
Yeah, well, because they had to win. They had to win the hearts and the minds of the consumers at the time because PS2 was a fucking monster, bro. You know,
You gotta also remember the original Xbox was the reason we even have online gaming besides the Dreamcast, because it was the one that originally adopted the fucking internet cord
and
in the back.
that was Don Matrick, he's the one that invested, you know, and that right there was a fucking gamble. What, broadband? You fucking crazy? You know, at that time, I remember, I shit you not, I remember when 3 megs down was like insane. Like, oh my god, you got 3 megs down? And then, you know, it escalated after that. But broadband was a huge gamble, you know?
And then the only reason why that console even survived was because of Halo and fucking Fable. I mean, if it wasn't for Halo and Fable back then, there was no real good IPs that were killer on that console back in the day that were like number one.
I thought Riddick was really good. You guys remember that?
Riddick was good, but I mean, system sellers, Halo was the biggest system seller, and then when Fable came out, that sold a lot of systems for him too.
Yeah. Fable was beast.
I mean, if you're looking at system sellers, like, them were the only two that really sold the system. Like, if you think back from back then. Besides, like, you know, Mecha sold and some of the other ones, but...
Well, that's what separated, you know, Xbox from PlayStation was the OnLive. Live is what was far superior than anything that PlayStation had to offer. You know, and now that, you know, Sony's got their shit.
Live is always looked at like the superior product. You know, that's why, you know, that's one thing Xbox has, you know. But I don't know for how much longer. Now, you showed that article you sent to me with Xbox helping PlayStation. Did you get that from Brimstone and them, or no? That's where I first saw it.
We were looking up the articles last night to see, like, if they were doing any of their servers and shit, because we was all looking up for it. But that article came from a credible actual site that Microsoft went to go help out Nintendo and Sony to try to stop this DDoS attacks last year after what happened with them on Christmas. So that is credible that they did try to work with them on their services. So, I mean, but that still comes back down to, like, they have to fix their own networking, and that comes down to, like, they have to invest their time in the servers and the server farms and everything like that, you know.
Now, is Master Chief Collection, is that dedicated servers or peer-to-peer?
That's, it's supposed to be dedicated servers, as far as I know.
Well, that same shit happened with Gears. Gears was dedicated servers, and then over time, like 6 months later, they switched that shit to peer-to-peer.
They do a little switch.
Wait. Gears of War Ultimate, it's still dedicated servers. Where are you getting they switched it?
They switched it from dedicated to peer-to-peer.
When?
There's an article on it. Oh, I have to pull it. I can pull it. You want me to pull it out?
Yeah, pull it out, son. Pull it out, because I'll tell you right now, there's no way in hell they switched that shit to fucking...
Yeah, it was
because I know the campaign for Gears of War Ultimate is peer-to-peer. But, like, the multiplayer is supposed to be dedicated servers.
Now
We're
you had
talking
said, since you're in here with Gears of War 2 and 3 backwards compatible, do those servers run really good or no? Are they just garbage?
I haven't played them. I'm not a Gears head like that. I'd have to ask my buddy Rampage.
Because we were trying to do co-op, story, and it was unbelievably bad. It was terrible. Like, I just figured it was peer-to-peer, too. I thought that was...
No. The original first 3 Gears and everything in Judgment is peer-to-peer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Ozzy, we didn't have that problem with Ultimate, did we? Do we have a connection?
But that's what I'm saying. Ultimate should be dedicated servers because that's for the Xbox One. All the other ones should be peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
We didn't have a problem with Gears of War Ultimate, I don't believe.
No, we did not.
That's why I'm wondering what
Master Chief Collection, Gears of War 2, and Gears of War 3.
I'm looking up Halo Waypoint right now to see about Master Chief Collection because it should be still dedicated servers.
So at the end of this argument, right, or the disagreement, is live still running like shit? Is it like what? What is it?
I don't know. I didn't play it today. This is just my experiences from the past 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was running
Right
good
now,
earlier.
I'm kind of having an alright deal.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was running good because I was playing Battlefield. And it was
Let's give an advisory. These are Xbots saying that. Just kidding. I'm just joking.
That's fine. I'm a bot all day long, son.
I'm for, I'm a fan of whatever I like. Fuck a brand, fuck that shit. Whatever I like, I'm a fan of. If it's working, I like it.
Yeah. One other thing I do have an issue with Xbox, their updates. Why do you have to do so many updates with games? Like, you know how many updates I did on Forza 6? Like, why is there so many updates?
That comes from the developer, though. That doesn't come from Microsoft.
And system updates I do a lot, but maybe because I'm the preview program. I don't know.
I think that's because your preview program, because I don't have to do a lot of system updates. Like I said,
Dave, do you leave yours on standby, or do you completely shut it down?
Every time I turn on a game, it'll tell me like I have to update it. Like I just played when I was talking to you guys. I was playing Forza 6. That's what I usually play when I do the podcast.
Yeah.
They told me how to update it. So. But that's the end of this podcast. We're going to cut it short. I appreciate everybody watching my live stream last night. I hit 50 viewers on fucking YouTube, and I hope to do that tonight again.
That was
Halo Master Chief Collection is still on dedicated servers. I haven't seen anything for Gears yet. I'll look it up now. According to Waypoint.
Yeah, I think Gears of War is dedicated servers. I remember watching videos on that, how the developers were talking. I could have sworn they said dedicated servers.
On the 360, I'm referring to the 360.
No, I'm talking about the Xbox One for the Ultimate Edition. I know that's dedicated servers.
I don't know.
Because I want to play Judgment. I want to play Judgment because I beat all the other Gears. I never got to play Judgment, but I just don't want to start playing it and just a bunch of disconnects happen. And I want to finish Halo.
Yeah, according, and this is the last update from the Xbox Wire from Gears of War. Halo, Gears of War Ultimate Edition is dedicated servers running at 60 frames a second. What's it called? Dynamic scaling between 1080p and 900p.
Oh, that's that dynamic resolution?
Yeah, that's that dynamic resolution.
RXL says live has ran like shit since 2012.
Who said that?
Okay, RXL.
Halo servers are dedicated to sucking.
I never heard of him. I've never heard of RXL 209. Never heard of the guy.
Right about that, RXL. I'm be sucking some major dick on that Halo, son. Right about that.
Who is that guy? I don't even know him. Is he like legit?
He's a legit troll, son. That's what he is.
Any questions you guys?
Shout out to RXL,
I don't take that man serious at all, son.
Any questions you guys want to ask in the chat? I'll take like 3 questions before we shut down. Like any questions you want to ask anybody? Probably just a lot of hate.
Yeah, this fucking Trigger guy. One stop is the face of Xbox. Get the fuck out of
Almost
here.
a pussycat. What else? Almost a corporate cocksucker.
I told you, man. I'm trying to get that corporate cockslepper away. Reward, son.
Is Armored really a midget?
Hell yes, I don't want midget all day long, motherfucker. I'm 4'4".
He says they
Only where it
want
counts.
a remake in 1080p. Laugh my ass off. I thought the Gears of War Ultimate remake was one of the best looking remakes outside of The Last of Us, but I do think Gears
Yeah, I think it is.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I just wish that, like, some people
I
got
think RXL needs to stop sucking that corporate Sony award over there.
Wow. Wow. He's got cocky ever since he got that new power supply, huh? I noticed that shit, RXL. I noticed that shit.
Hell yeah.
Alright, guys, we are going to shut it down. Alright.
It's alright, RXL. We all know
Alright,
you're on
man.
the corporate cocksucker.
Thank you, ZA Freak, for joining, as always.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Hope you come back. The old Dirty 33, I think he's there.
You're right. Thanos does love trannies.
Thank you, Thanos, for joining as always.
Thanks, Dave. Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun tonight, man.
Yeah, it turned out a lot better than I thought it was because there wasn't really much to talk about. You know, there's not much gaming news outside of Snoop Dogg telling Bill Gates fix his shit. No, I'm just kidding.
You're right.
Aussie Gamer, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right, and Armored Sentries, thank you for joining.
Anytime, Dave. Anytime.
And Test 2 and I think Zeus was here too. Thank you guys for joining. And whoever else joined that I don't remember, thank you for joining.